Good evening, everybody. Welcome in to the show. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Oh, goodness gracious. Good evening to you, everybody. Welcome in. How you doing? My name is Ultimate DJs. Appreciate you guys all being here. Thank you. Let's find out who's hanging out in a talking track. Server sound off. You guys go ahead and smash it up in the chat right now. Where are you hailing from? Good evening, everybody. Where are you from today? Dirty Bird Bill kicking us off on server 15. Q on 57. Noon Whistle on server 29. What's going on? 4 of Raj on server 9. Gherkin on 184. Spectre on 11. Thank you. Scalyback from the Outback on 193. Wolfwood on 49. Stevens Aaron on 136. Benny Hill on 42. Thank you. Captain's Log on 63. Sanguine Otter on server 89. Thank you guys so very much. Look at the chat go. Striker on 49. Look, that didn't even have it on. Look at all those call-outs. Striker on 49. John Roll on 32. Swimbot on 29. Matt Dog on 15. Lieutenant Fire on 9. Spock on 35. James the Beast on 89. Brado on 92. Bel Air on 70. Karok on 61. Querity on 45. Sugar Bean on server 9. Thank you. Abstract on 131. Kitty Not Human on 95. Logobolus on server 69. Thank you. Cruzito on 13. Snack Attack on 42. Wood Cannon on 35. Thank you. Simmo on 176. Digital Menace on 13. Bearbone on 24. Q on 22. Papa Smurf, thank you for your 100 kitty bitties. Thank you. Thank you. Webster Sponge, what's going on? Thank you. Check on 84. By Grabthar's Hammer, what a savings. On server 35, yes. That is a very long username. I see it there. Q on 22. JP on 158. Bender the Robot on 51. Listerine. Very good for killing all those germs. And good. Listerine on server 11. Thank you. Sith Lord on 24. Aster Lemon on 121. Delurge on server 11. Goodness gracious, 132 additional messages in the Talking Trek server sound off. Thank you guys so very much. Trying something a little bit new. Yes, I still have. These are the only alerts that'll be on. Because you know what? I was thinking about this and I thought, man, community, it really is sometimes a little bit unfair. Because when we do the simulcast, sometimes people will come over and they're not going to realize that we're doing a simulcast, so they'll do their resub, right? Or they'll follow the channel, or they'll participate in a hype train like the Web and Alpha Zypher and Engineer and Webster Sponge and Papa Smurf and Brian. All those guys are participating on a hype train over on Twitch right now. And I thought, man, it's almost unfair that they don't get their names read out during the show. Right? Like Digital Menace and HRM Moose. I thought, man, it would be really nice if I could still acknowledge those guys without really interrupting the flow of the podcast. So what I decided to do, this is what I decided to do, Cruzito. I'm trying something different because...
Quality.
Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. Hold on. Daggone it. That wasn't supposed to happen. See, I thought I had everything turned off except for that. Oh, goodness. All right, I'm gonna figure it out right now. I'm gonna come in to my extensions. See, that one's fine. Engineer, thank you for your 100 kitty bitties. Thank you so very much. This is what, boom. I think I just did it. I think I got it. All right. I know Swimbot. What great timing, right? I was trying to fix everything. Thank you guys so very much. By the way, 132 extra messages in the Talking Trek server sound off. It looks like we've got about 280 people in the live studio audience today. Thank you so very much. Appreciate that. Cruzito says, just go old school and do a podcast only. Well, I can't. The producers and the bean counters don't like me to do that. But, Cruzito, we can figure out ways to balance it like we're going to do right here, right now, today. And so we'll allow our players to get the recognition that they deserve from our Twitch chat, but we also don't have all the other things that are going on. Bear Butt, thank you for your pity bitties. We don't have all the other crazy noises and the other stuff going on in the podcast, so you guys aren't going to get distracted while we're trying to talk and explain mechanics and teach and discover insights. Like we have kind of started making a habit of, ladies and gentlemen. We've kind of started making this a habit at the beginning of the arc. The first show that we come out is that we get to come out and we get insights from game design. Thank you, Thumbelina. We get insights from game design, whether they're live on our show or in this particular case, this week, this month, we have Obsidian Hamster representing game design because they're literally like, I think it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning where they are right now. So when I asked them to get up that early, they were like, pfft. They only expect the Americans to get up that early to meet the Barcelona schedule. They don't meet the American schedule. The Americans have to meet the Barcelonian schedule. All right. That's right, Wilson. No voice changer. All right. Papa Smurf would like it to be made known and permanently recorded here as an official record on this podcast that his alliance just took a territory from Dr. Juby. Congratulations. Yes. Very good. Good for you. Yes. All right, there you go. There's some hype for you, all right? So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you guys so very much. Griffin will not be green tonight. Griffin is actually traveling out of town for work. So he is not going to be able to be with us tonight. So you're just going to get me rambling and me spending time with the one and only Obsidian Hamster. We're going to bring him on the stage here in just a moment. Yes, I see all the green griffins in chat. Thank you very much, JB. Appreciate that. Mistress of Mayhem, thank you for your support of the channel. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, really, without much further ado, I would like to go ahead and get the show on the road. AJ says, is Griffin looking for Peyton? Yes, Wolfwood. He's out there. He doesn't know. Don't tell him. Griffin doesn't know. AJ says, I feel like if you don't have the ship, you're not enjoying this arc. The Sarah stuff is not horrible, but it is boring. You know, AJ, I was actually having a conversation with Hammy about this the other day. I do genuinely feel like this is 2 loops in one. People are arguing with me about that. This is a month, probably for the first time ever, that we actually have 2 separate loops. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think it's the first time ever because it happened also with Q's Trials and Forbidden Technology. You guys remember? It was Q's Trials was like its own piece, but Forbidden Technology was kind of its own piece too, and they just used them to kind of piggyback off each other. This particular month, they are doing something very, very similar. There is 2 separate loops here, okay? And I don't want anybody to really get that confused about it, all right? We're going to talk to Hammy a little bit about it, but it is 2 loops. You've got Galaxy Invasion. That's one loop. It doesn't require a ship. It does not require a ship. It doesn't require anything other than the account status that you've got right now. To be perfectly honest with you, you are better off with some of the older content in this game. We're going back to Con, guys. We're going back to Con. All right? How many of you guys have used Con on your bridge, I don't know, in the last 3 years, 4 years? Okay? Now, Andy says you need a ship to kill stuff. You do. You do indeed need a ship. All right? But it doesn't have to be the new ship. That's for loop number 1, that is. And technically, loop number 2 is not exactly a new loop, right? Loop number 2 is an expansion of a loop we just got introduced a month or 2 ago. It is still a new piece of that loop. It's going to increase our engagement with that loop. And we'll talk about that. All right. But it is, we're experiencing content this month for 2 separate loops. And we're going to break those down for you tonight. As a matter of fact, once we're done kind of picking Hammy's brain, we're actually going to go through and we're going to give you the exact mechanics. We're going to break it down quick and dirty, nice and easy and concise. What do I do with what, with this ship, with what crew, and where do I fly to kill what? And step 2, where do I fly with the new protector, with what crew to kill what? We're going to break all of that down for you tonight, so there's a lot going on. You don't want to miss it. I also want to point out that as a result of us doing our simulcast and as a result of us trying to blend the 2 audiences a little bit, I will point out that we do have our daily goals right up above. And so I'm going to invite you, whether you're in podcast, in Twitch, in Discord, I'm going to invite you guys to participate in some of the goal sets that we've got here today. If you do happen to hit our daily stream goal, then we'll give away a free piece of merchandise tonight. If we get to our daily cheer goal, then there will be battle passes given away. Not 1, but 2 battle passes given away. And if we get to our daily sub goal, then we will give away not 1, but 2 $100 packs inside STFC. That could be 2 NSEA protectors that we give to you right here on this stage if indeed we hit our show goals tonight. So we will work on those a little bit later, and we'll check in after the break to see how we do. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to welcome to the stage
Drive sweet night September. I feel alive,
a furry, green, Hulk smashy kind of monster. Maxenheimer says, I miss stupid news. You know what, Karkin would agree with you. Everybody hated on the stupid news. Now I don't write it anymore, and you guys miss it, right? Yeah? Is that what you wanted? You didn't want more loops. You just wanted stupid news. I love you, too. I'll write you some stupid news. It'll be a special thing next week. I'll write you some stupid news. Stupid news was awesome. Pitter-patter. You guys are making my heart go pitter-patter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Obsidian Hamster. All right, really funny story. Good evening, everybody. Appreciate that. Thank you guys very much. Good evening, Hammy. Welcome into the show. How you doing, my man? Welcome.
I'm doing great.
Good.
Really excited to be here, man. Thanks for having me on.
Whoa, listen to him sounding all good. Did you change your setup a little bit? Yeah, actually.
I did. Last time I was on, I was using my my computer's microphone, but look at me, I've got my headset all up and running.
Don't tap it like that. My God. Do you guys remember the last time he was on the show? Like, he banged on the desk. He was like, "Hey, doesn't this sound great?" All right.
It's emphasis. I got my cans. That's what we call in the biz, right? They're cans.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good stuff right there. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, so Hammy, welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here, man. We've got a lot to kind of talk about tonight. I know Benny Hill. He tapped on it. He doesn't realize how loud it was. Just deafened all of us. Okay. All right. Yo, Theo, thank you very much. Appreciate that so much. That was very kind of you. Guys, listen, we have a lot of stuff to talk about here tonight, including basically the brand spanking new ARC, the launch, the Galaxy Invasion. Hammy and I have been talking about some notes, some things that we want to talk about, and just trying to kind of see there's things that we want to talk about, right? Because this ARC hasn't been the smoothest launch of all time. Now, here's the thing. From the ARC launch perspective, really wasn't actually that bad. We've had a couple of hiccups along the way. We're going to talk a little bit about those. We're going to talk about these new chimeras and what their intent was. We're going to talk about some communication issues as well. So, Hammy, good evening. Buckle up. We've got a lot to get to tonight. Are you ready? Do you want to actually lead with anything? Do you have any announcements or anything that you want to lead with?
No, but maybe just kind of following up on being able to get that blue particle accelerator comp chest out today. That was one of the biggest things that I heard from players. So we get another crack at taking out a chimera. So I was really happy we could do that. And then to add the eye patches on top was just kind of a nice way to kind of help mitigate things that went over yesterday. I know we're going to be talking about sourcing a little bit later, but I just wanted to say that I was really happy we could get that out to players.
That was something that you and I had talked a little bit about yesterday, and it's not a foreign concept. We kind of went back to Mirror Universe launch when players didn't have vouchers, right? And we said, hey, listen, like, we really want to get in. We want to experience this content. We want to get in and start playing. And we weren't able to do that with the Mirror Universe in the beginning because of the timing of the release of vouchers. Similarly, in that first month, we also seemed to have a little bit of a disconnect because we had events that were requiring pretty heavy participation in the Mirror Universe, but we didn't have time to source anything yet. And I kind of feel that same pattern emerging here, in which, hey, on day 2, we had an event to kill chimeras, and that SMS probably required 2, maybe 3, depending on what you were hitting, to complete that SMS. But we only had time to kind of grind out maybe 1. The RNG gives you a chance at 50 or 100. So there was a large percentage of the community that might have only gotten 50 and gone into day 2 and not had an opportunity to even start at all. So you and I did talk about this yesterday. I am curious why Scopely feels sometimes so conservative on these launches. It took a lot of the same kind of ear chewing last month to try to get those extra mirror vouchers released into the universe to get people excited and being able to play. Today, I was pleased that you guys launched the comp chest because it is one more start than anybody had. But let me just ask you, why not 5, 10? Like, you want people to get in and play, right? You want people to get in and experience it and learn it and experiment with it. Why such a controlled entry here at the first start?
I think it's going to basically vary from arc to arc. Mirror Universe, I think, definitely needed more vouchers so players could explore. That needed exploration for sure. I think one of the problems with the chimeras, at least one that I heard on official a lot, is we never made the distinction between armadas and chimeras. And so a lot of people went after those thinking that they were armadas with an armada crew and then getting killed and losing, their chance to score in any of the events. So that was kind of a breakdown of communication on our part that we should have kind of let people know. As for giving players more of an opportunity to explore and engage, I'm all for that. I think that is something that we should be doing. I don't know if that's going to be consistent as we go through, but I think it does change with Arc to Arc. Like, we really need to get the vouchers in for Mirror Universe because there was just so much content to get into and to explore. The best I can tell you is that I'm going to keep kind of pushing for more access and more exploration because I think that's the most important thing that players can do.
All right. And I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted in the chat at the moment, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on things. Wood Cannon says this is why you have to kind of wait for even the content creators, which you and I have talked a little bit about, waiting for other people to test for you. Because I did. I went in and I died a bunch, and I looked at a bunch of things and suicided a bunch. I burned a bunch of mirror vouchers the other day trying to explore this new content. But it does seem as though, really, truthfully, this is brand spanking new content, right? It would be cool to let everybody have their first taste, get in there and be excited. I feel like if people were able to experience it and play in it, then there would be more excitement about continuing to play in it. And therefore, as the chat is happily pointing out, maybe players would like it so much that, dare I say, they would be interested in paying to play in it more. But, we've got to be able to experience that a little bit first before knowing what that's going to turn into. So we've got some of the content. We're going to talk about the Chimeras here a little bit. Let's actually touch on that a little bit because the Chimeras have been a really interesting / frustrating mechanic of this first arc. Now, I will credit our community very much. There has been some great science, all right? I don't even know who all I could say thanks to. Andy, Wham, Istio's been hanging out, Jules, obviously, and Blue, and Grungondola. They have been coming up with some crazy testing and hypotheses. And so now I want to put it to the test a little bit. Hammy, first of all, tell me what type of enemy is a Chimera? What is a Chimera, and what officers work on a Chimera?
It's honestly the best description I've heard in chat today is basically it's a non-armada hostile. And I think based on its position in the screen, the size of it, everybody did think it was an armada when they first rolled out. As for crewing goes, I haven't even gotten that far yet. I think that I do feel bad for the players that we didn't let know in advance because I don't think we had it out there that they weren't armadas. Because the first thing you jump into a system and you see them, that's exactly what you think they are. But that was something, and I even added that to my announcement today just to make sure we know that Armada only crews are not going to work against it. What I did hear in chat was that if it says hostile and Armada, those abilities are supposedly able to work, but Armada exclusive officers are no good.
It is interesting that it almost feels like engineering has created a distinction or two different hostiles. You've got a non-armada hostile and then just a hostile, right? Because hostile abilities are not working, but non-armada hostile abilities are. It's very strange. Yeah, I see that, Shinjo. You can't necessarily call it it is non-armada hostile abilities actually are working. That's what's weird about it. It's an armada with an ability that makes hostile abilities not work is kind of what they're saying. All right.
It's a slippery slope, man.
Yeah, it for sure is. But now there's been a lot of people kind of playing with and experimenting and spending their directives to determine what officers are working and how some of this stuff should be being utilized. All right. And I think that those players are doing a fantastic service for the community because, there's a lot of stuff that yesterday there were a lot of directives spent on just testing officers, knowing what they were going to work. Are these chimeras working as you guys expected them to? Because part of the conversation that you and I had was that I kind of thought these were big old server bosses, right? Like that everybody was going to be tag teaming. Everyone's going to be teaming up. I mean, the engineering and the game design team made special care to tell us that, hey, if you don't survive, the hull health is going to stay off and let the rest of the server come in and play against that. But we're actually seeing that these things they're dying, right? Players are defeating them. So are these working exactly like game design intended?
I think there was an iteration where it was what you were talking about, because I remember seeing those kind of in presentations as well, that it would be one hostile that you would just kind of go up against again and again and again, like the whole server would unite against it. Probably at some point during production, they made that change to where it was an actual single hostile that you could destroy instead. That is probably the best answer I have for you, because like I said, I remember being in those meetings too, and that I think at some point the iteration kind of changed. So you still have the percentage that goes down overall. Whether or not maybe it was easier to spread them across multiple systems if you could just destroy them like that, or maybe it was less memory intensive to have just one hostile, or even actually having one big one would probably cause even more players to kind of spam in there trying to hit it all at the same time.
Right. So
there could be a number of different reasons why they made that change. I don't know. Would you rather it kept the other way, just one big hostile for them to take out?
I don't know. It is an interesting conversation. It is kind of what we were expecting. On the other hand, you're right. There would be intense system congestion. There probably would be the squeezing out of some players not being able to participate with that. Let me ask in the chat. You guys sound off in the chat, and I'm watching Discord as well. We were kind of expecting Galaxy server bosses, right? And has this version of Galaxy Invasion lived up to that expectation? Some players are saying, yeah, you know what? These are not that easy, DJ, you whale. Wood Cannon says, I can go up to about the 55, 56s. That's about it. That's as far as I can go. So they are kind of whipping me. Wolfwood says they feel just like Armadas. Papa Smurf saying, I was expecting them to be a little bit more difficult. A Cruzito agreeing that one Galaxy boss, probably not a good idea. All right. But they were expected to be more challenging. And I think Scopely would have expected them to be more challenging, hence the 10-round limit. Tell us a little bit about the 10-round limit. Why does that exist in an Armada that, sorry, not a non-hostile Armada, non-Armada hostile, brain melting. Why does the 10-round limit exist with the Chimeras?
That's a great question, and that I will take back to game design to follow up on. The only thing that I can really think of is that you have those kind of draws where you get the kind of participation chest. There is actually kind of a bug right now. We did an announcement like that the damage is actually going up at a higher rate than originally intended. So almost like a 10-round limit is pretty good. And I think actually the way the Chimeras were designed originally, having a 10-round limit, because I think originally they were designed to go up 10% by 10% each time on ISO damage. And currently they're going up by like 100% and then 1,000% with each round. So it was kind of to give the player a chance to, because if it just keeps going up each round, it gets just going to get more and more powerful. So limiting it to 10, I think, was the reasoning behind that.
The announcement that you're referring to is actually a discovery that I think Lube and Stewie had made yesterday and reported in dev chat. I was allegedly... yo, what's up, Tibbs? Thank you for bringing your audience in. Appreciate that very much. Allegedly, I was 10 hours late on this discovery with my community last night. But the Chimera ability, increasing its isolytics, starting, and the tooltip indicated that it was 10% each round that it would go up, when in fact the battle logs were reflecting that it was 100% and 200% and then 300%. So by the time you got to round 10, it was indeed 1,000%. That's 10x the damage. And golly, that's what took me out. So let me ask this question, community, because Hammy and I were actually talking about this earlier. These do pose a challenge. A lot of people in the chat are saying that a server-style boss should have been harder. right? Not necessarily one singular boss, but maybe harder to allow for multiple attacks, et cetera, et cetera. Yet, if it was isolytic at only 10%, Hammy, these would have been even softer than they are now, right?
True.
So,
True.
you know, it was an error in the tooltip, but I don't know that we would actually want it to be less. They would be even easier.
Well, actually, if I could just kind of expand on that a little bit. So one of the things I kind of liked about the Gordon loop is it was relatively easy to do, right? It was easy to kind of get in there and get out. I think there is, and even when you were talking about this arc being 2 loops, I think I would rather have something with kind of an easier hostile to deal with. Like even the Fatu Cray hostiles are very easy to take out. And I think having something like that makes an additional loop a little bit easier on players in general. Because if we're going to just lob in these impossible things, especially if the directives are kind of sourced a little bit more sparsely to begin with, having them easier to beat, I think is a better idea if we're going to introduce something like this.
All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about the mechanic of the Chimeras, because there was also a little bit of miscommunication about that on day one. And that absolutely could have been on my part. I feel like there were a couple of things that interpretation missed on, Hammy. We're going to talk a little bit about the skin, like we talked about the other day. We're going to talk about the Omega-13 ability. I actually got a lot of things wrong, Chad. I mean, when I look at what we see in the game as compared to what I put in the Arcfall video, there's more items that I got wrong than normal. But I think some of that has to do with the style of communication that we had. So when we're talking about the Chimeras, Falcon wants to know, are you supposed to get chests, and when are the chests supposed to come? For example, there's 3 possible outcomes here, Hammy. One is you just beat it. The other one is that you draw with it or you hit the 10-round limit. And then the third one, which is the one that I got, you just get your butt kicked. All right? Like, I died. I did not make it to the 10 rounds. I just died to the hostile. Do you have the exact kind of scenario in which those play out with the chest? What do you get and when exactly?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Because I think that there's...
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I think that, like you said, if you don't survive the 10 rounds, you die. There isn't anything. But if you do survive, then you get the kind of participation chest is what we're calling it. You survive the 10 rounds, you get something for your efforts, you survived. And then, of course, there's the better chest for if you destroy it completely. So that is kind of the thinking right there. Does chat like that kind of setup with having the participation chest if you survive the 10 rounds, or is that, because I like it. Anything that we can add that kind of gives players, something extra, I'm always for. So
I think, and so I was curious about this. No, Cruzito, I've got it ready. Okay. Aaron says we thought if you died, you still got something, and that is in fact what I reported. All right, in fairness, that isn't how it is. Now, what I am seeing though is that I think it's opposite, Hammy. I think that people should not feel the pressure to defeat it. They need to feel the pressure to make it to the 10 rounds, right? Because the survival chest, the participation chest, what is it, guys? Almost 10x. I mean, it's big. It's a good chest. I'd have to go back up into some of my data area to investigate that. But chat, tell me if I'm wrong. The survival chest, the participation chest, is massively better. So I think that players should be not as concerned with defeating it as they are surviving it. And this is going to come in a balance, though, because, Hanny, we've also got the IMS and the SMS, which do require killing it, right? But this is where you and I were talking about events that feel slightly disconnected, because the strategy of the Chimeras is to survive, right? Like, if you can't beat one, survive 10 rounds, mitigation, defensive measures, isolytic defense below deck. Surviving is the goal, because the winner's chest pays a little extra bonus, and that's great, But surviving is what pays the ultimate goal. Yet, we have events that are written about killing them. And it feels like a little bit of a disconnect there. But we've seen that before, even with the Mirror Universe. So now Dave says the Chimeras are for 40 plus, correct? And that is correct. It is 40 plus, essentially. I think technically it's 40. It's not 41. It is 40. But no, Falcon, I don't think I call that broken. I actually like that better. The fact that there's no pressure on killing it, okay? The fact that there's no pressure on killing it is actually great. Now, Cruzito said that's a little bit silly. If you draw, you get more. That's not entirely true either. If you draw, you get one chest. If you defeat it, you actually get 2 chests. Okay? But the extra bonus chest is just not a whole lot. It's just a little extra cherry on top. All right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about this in the mechanics piece of this a little bit later. But if you defeat the entire Chimera, you actually do get 2 chests. And the raw loot. You're right, Recursion. You also get the raw loot. So it does encourage players to survive. And Paulo says killing is surviving, and it is, okay? But for players who can't kill them, look in the chat. We do see some of that, right, Hammy? Like, some people are saying, well, I am struggling. The isolytic is actually a little bit too much for me. Then we look at pure defensive measures. Okay? Yep. Look at pure defensive measures. Now, K92 says, where's the challenge? We were promised a challenge. K92, you're a 70. Okay? Nothing challenges you. All right? You could run your ship through Culver City. Literally, you could take your pixels and it would literally ransack the Scopely headquarters running through it because your pixels are so big. All right? Your pixels are so massive that they're not even pixels anymore. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, your pixels are ridiculous. All right. Cruzito says, though, that he agrees. It looks for something a little bit more of a challenge. But, again, we're seeing that the 40s and 45s and 50s are seeing that challenge and might be confused on what the loop is meant to be. So we're going to spend some time on that coming up here in just a little bit as well. I do want to talk a little bit about, focus in a little bit more on the directives. You and I talked about last month with the Mirror Universe vouchers, and they actually ended up changing the refinery and the cap because players really wanted to get in there. Yep. This month, we see a slow drip. We're seeing 50 to 100 directives a day. Now, ordinarily, really truthfully, community, ordinarily, go back to Bajoran, 100 directives a day, 50 directives a day. That's how those loops started, okay, in all fairness. I think that 1 armada a day is probably, one non-armada hostile a day.
Just call them chimeras. Just chimeras.
Yeah, one of those thingies a day is actually good sourcing. The problem is we've got events that are calling for more than that. All right, so that's a little bit of a challenge right now up front. I think 30 days from now, we're probably not going to feel that bad about it. All right. On the other hand, Keith says it should be 100 per day, and I get that. All right. Shermer says, what's the point of the loop? Doesn't affect me. I'm not 40. Well, we do have Fatu Cray at 25, and we're going to circle around to that as well here in just a second because there's also some concerns with that portion of that loop. Okay. So Karkin says 1 a day would be okay, not half a day, but there is a front-loaded period, and I get that, okay? So, and Gray Mouser says, but if you're experimenting, if you're learning and not killing the first time, then you do, in fact, need 200, or you're going to get sniped, and I agree. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think that there should be a little bit of a learning curve. That being said, when Mirror Universe vouchers came out, you guys saw the demand from the community, and you responded accordingly. What are the odds that we are going to be able to have the same discussion surrounding these blue Chimera directives?
I mean, we are having discussions like that. Like, that's basically how we got the comp chest that came out today. Because we heard that the feedback from players saying we need more ways to try out this new content. I don't know if there's any immediate plans because with the vouchers in the Mirror Universe, I don't think that fix came instantaneously. I know we adjusted over time, and I think that's a possibility, but I can't commit to saying, oh, there's going to be 100 a day. I'd love to see 100 a day if we could do that, and technically it is possible. The chances of doing it or not, I don't think they're I think there may be 20% or something like that. But it is possible right now. I'm going to keep raising this as long as the community keeps talking about it. And I think it's going to be a similar issue compared to the Vouchers of Mirror Universe. So I can't really commit to saying that, this is something that it will change over time. But right now, it's basically a very hot topic. It's something that I've been raising constantly, honestly, for the past 2 days solid.
Okay. Regarding, and I do see some players in the chat that are talking about, well, I'm a sub 40 player. It's been nice not to have any events. Well, you do. You still have Fatu Cray. So let's change gears for a little bit and talk about the Fatu Cray just for a second, Hammy, because we've got an interesting loop going on there. As a matter of fact, that loop is a lot of players are finding that relatively easy. A lot of players are finding that they're finding themselves able to bank a pretty good amount of that loot. I would say outside of G6, where it costs hundreds of millions for a refine. By the way, I want to go on record. Now, I haven't played as much because, Hammy, I've been working. I just want to go on record. I have not actually done a single redeem of that yet. Because I need hundreds of millions. But most people are saying that it's not as bad, probably G5 and down, to get that loot. Now, let's circle in on the loot. There is a cooldown on that refinery, and the refinery actually is set to disappear within the next couple of days, Hammy. When are we going to see that back?
I believe the date that I heard was the 21st. The goal is to run these twice a month. So it will be coming back later on in the month. And, to your point about the Fatu Cray again, I mean, is that like one of the big pieces of feedback I remember from the Zindi arc, or the Enterprise arc, was that the hostiles were just insanely difficult. And it did take players a long time to kind of adapt their gameplay to, really kind of go after them and start taking them out. I think I'd rather see kind of an easier hostile like the Fatu Cray, something that you could just kind of knock out real quickly, or into the system, you knock out, I don't know, the cargo fills up fast, but I would rather have something that's easy, get it done, get out, move on to something else. So I'm kind of interested about the players, because I don't think I've heard a lot of complaints about.
No, you're not hearing that. The chat's
the
like,
ease.
DJ, shut up, man. Mimi says that's because you're not playing. There are players out here with hundreds of millions of scrap that they can't refine. The problem is actually backwards, DJ. Vahalan King says, I have 1 billion loot. My daily redeem is 340,000. Let me spend more. Okay. All right. My experience is different. Shiz says the same thing. I've got way more loot than I can actually refine. So let me ask, is this a problem, chat? Like, maybe this needs to get crossed off the list, because forgive me. All right, let me just think about it. If you've got hundreds of millions of loot, then doesn't that mean that this becomes a loop, kind of like the what was the raiding ship? The raiding miner. I don't use it because I never raid. What is the amalgam? Doesn't it become kind of a thing like the amalgam, where you grind once or you once a month or once every 2 months and then you're done? Right?
But isn't that good?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that is a good thing. I don't know. Swimbot says that means I don't really ever have to go back and do it. Okay, well, that's good. Then why is that on my list? Come on, chat. Why is that on my list? Keith says I have enough for a year. Amalgam, disco, perfect. This one, clickety, click, 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 and now you're done. Okay, well, that's great. Mud says whale problem. Not me, man. I haven't done a pull yet. All right. Omicron says it's because I'm not trying. It's because I'm working. I'm working my butt off for you guys. All right. Now, a lot of people said that they have that much loot because of the IMS. Let's talk about that. If we're going to talk about something that actually has a mathematical problem, then maybe we talk about the IMS. Yeah. Hammy, the IMS, I have yet, first of all, raise your hand in chat. Has anybody actually finished the IMS yet? Today, I think, was the day that we were expecting to see huge progress, because today was the Chimera day. There was certainly more points for killing chimeras than there were for killing Fatu Cray. Is anybody going to finish it? Pixelate might be the closest, says they've got 11% left. Server 97 has finished theirs. Okay, congratulations to you guys. Samo says not even close to finishing. I think we've got 3 out of 4. Keith says we're 23 million short. We're probably around 25, 30 million short. Server 118 is 13% remaining. If nobody finishes, or if 5% of servers finish, Tagore says server 40 actually might finish tonight. Okay, well, that's great. Is the IMS a little bit off? Maybe.
You know, that is exactly what I've been hearing from a lot of players on Official. The difficulty of this alone was really, like, players were really, really vocal about it. I'm seeing in chat that there are some servers having some success. But I think overall, most servers are having a hard time. If it comes back and, you know, if only half or, you know, a small fraction can finish the IMS, then we really have to kind of look into retooling it for the next time we try and run something like this.
I'm curious, though, if the IMS was clearly built around completing and defeating chimeras, right? I think, chat, we can agree with that.
Well,
like there was heavy points involved for killing the chimeras, right?
Yeah, I thought 97 said they did it purely on Fatu Cray, though.
Well, there's no way that anybody could know that they did it purely on Fatu Cray.
True.
However,
but I get what you're saying. Chimeras would be the chief target.
For example, if we take a look at the actual event, defeating a Fatu Cray can get you anywhere between 100 and 600 points. Okay, but defeating a Chimera could get you anywhere between 10,000 and 80,000 points. So clearly, Chimera were the primary way to score on this thing. Sure. And Fatu Cray were the secondary. Do you think that this event is actually not poorly written, but poorly timed? I mean, if we had 100 directives a day coming into our bank, and this showed up 2 weeks from now, when the entire server could free to play knock out, 7 or 10 or 11 of these things, is that potentially better? I'm watching it, Putz. I see it. I see it, chat. You guys, get off me.
Yeah, everything okay?
Yeah. Chat is yelling at me, Hammy. They're like, listen, leave Hammy alone. I'm not trying to give him a hard time. Good God. Leave Hammy alone. He's our favorite. Stop beating him up. So
no, it's fine. It's I honestly I have a blast coming on this show. I love this. I love the conversation. But I think you're right. I think that maybe running it later in the month when they're technically called, I guess, blue particle accelerators but it's just simpler to call them directives for now. When they are a little bit more plentiful,
because they're armadas. Directives go to armadas, and it's what they are.
Yeah, but. I do agree that running it later in the month would be easier for a lot of players to go after this. It looks like there are some servers that are having some success, but again, we need to look at what the completion rate is on this before we rerun it again. Because I think, like you said, like later in the month, it's conceivable that there are, that the blue particle accelerators will be much more available. And that would contribute to a lot more success on servers.
I'm wrong, Hammy. Because they're not going to be able to bank these things for 10 or 20 days because the refinery goes bye-bye when the event goes away. Is that something that we've got some play with? I mean, if players do have all of the tons and tons of scrap, right? They're looking for ways to spend that. You guys are looking for players to get more engaged. Players are looking for more directives to become engaged. Is the simple fix maybe just leaving the Fatu Cray scrap exchange on?
That's definitely a possibility. I'm going to take a note of that to see. I don't know if we'll be able to leave it on all month. I think that might be tricky to sell.
Andy, I need a new slogan. You did hashtag free the MU and it worked. All right, now we've got to free the scrap. Okay, hashtag free the scrap Andy makes great T-shirts. All right, there you go, Spectre. Hashtag free the scrap. I mean, maybe, okay, possibly they don't go for leaving it on. Then maybe the alternative is to leave it on but reduce the cooldown to 4 hours. I mean, you want players. Do you actually want players, Hammy, to only be able to attempt 2 of these a month? 3 a month? To attempt?
Me? Like me personally?
Yeah, I mean, I know that's a hypothetical.
That's not what I want.
No.
No, but this is honestly, there's a few different ways that we can look into doing this. Even if it's like shortening the cooldown, if it's extending the refinery for a day. Like I doubt, I haven't had this conversation yet, but I doubt I could get like it to run the whole month. But I think any extra opportunities for players to source more of these the blue particle accelerators, I think is going to work for everyone. So I'm taking a note right now about trying to figure that out. Even if it's honestly, even if we can find like a different way to source them, either through the mirror universe refinery or something like that, that will have like a Fatu Cray, payout or something. But I'm interested to have this conversation. I can't make any promises, but it makes sense to me.
By the way, time for the biggest fault that I've got, the biggest gripe, all right, that I have with this entire arc. All right, listen, I'm going to pull an echo on you. I'm going to get vicious.
Uh-oh.
All right,
oh, no.
Amy, this is the first time that I've ever actually had to yell at you about something.
We don't need to raise our voice.
Why? Why are the blue directives green? All right, that is triggering me to no end. Listen, we talked about this in the chat, and I see a couple of people in the chat right now. Yes, the fact that they're green are bothering me more. Green doesn't equal blue. You're right, Shiz. All right. What?
Wait a minute.
What
wait a minute.
happened?
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. We need to stop this interview right now. Green doesn't equal blue?
What the hell? I mean, I know, right? Like, Alpo says, if that's DJ's only problem, then we've got an issue. No, it's one of my biggest ones, Alpo, okay? It's one of my biggest ones. I mean, okay, just being silly for a second. What? Why are they green? You listen, and by the way, chat, I did put this on my question list yesterday, so now I want to know what Hammy's official answer is.
You did. He's like, also ask this, like this specific question, why are they green? And you know what? Like, I took those questions back to the team, and I left that one, and I added that one too. That was on there, and no one pinged. So now, you know what? I'm doubling down. I'm going back in, and I'm going to get an answer to why they're green when they're blue particle accelerators.
Yeah,
it begins here.
First of all, the fact that you asked them and they did not answer you is insulting enough. All right, I demand answers. All right,
I wasn't offended, but I am now.
Thank you. Hammy is offended for us. Thank you, guys, everybody.
Yep.
Guys, it's because green's the color of cash.
I shouldn't laugh at that. I shouldn't have laughed at that. Don't get me in trouble.
Make it rain. All right. That's great. All right. Let's change gears here a little bit. We've talked about the Fatu Cray. We've talked about the refinery. That would be really nice when we're talking about things that I don't think break the loop. I don't think that these are things that jar the economy. We're just talking about simple adjustments. And this is what you and I were talking about yesterday. I don't want to have to go in and rewrite anything, the refineries and all this stuff. I just want it to be simple tweaks that allow players a better experience, to be able to engage in the content that you guys have clearly put in hundreds and hundreds of hours into building, right? Why build something if the players can't play in it? And I know that there's going to be answers about incentivizing it or early access with spend and all that stuff, but I feel like players are going to spend anyway to advance their ability. Right now, Karkin is not going to go buy a pack because you're not letting him play. He's just not going to play. You know what I'm saying? On the other hand, Istio, shout out, ran 30 of them today. All right, so he's going to do it, and he ran them for science. He ran them for the people. Like, he's going to do that anyway, right? So I just kind of feel like this is an area of the game where we should look at allowing more engagement and allowing more players to be able to experience it, because your Istios are still going to Istio. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he went and did it. That's right. To compete, to be competitive, to do the solo leaderboard, all that stuff. They're going to do that stuff anyway. So I kind of want to really be an advocate for that. And, freeing up the Fatu Cray Scrap Exchange, I think, is a good step in moving towards that direction. Now, we've talked about the Chimeras. We've talked about the Fatu Cray. Let's actually change gears just a little bit and actually talk a little bit about the actual ship, the NSEA Protector. And you know what? Yeah. Honestly, before we go to the Protector, let's actually have a slightly lighter moment. How are you feeling about players' response to the crossover event of Galaxy Quest? That IP. Players are now seeing it. They're seeing it in action. Are you having as much pushback as maybe we thought that there could be?
There was initially. I'll be honest. Over on Official, when the announcement first went out, a lot of players were very vocal that they disagreed with this as the direction of the game. That has been pretty consistent for the past couple weeks, and I think that was maybe the biggest complaint on launch day, because I think you touched on it very briefly, that it was, from a tech standpoint, it was a very kind of smooth launch, and on Official it was actually a little bit quieter than I was expecting for an ARC launch, because I think players were still kind of exploring everything. There still are a lot of players that disagree with Galaxy Quest in general. It's supposed to be a Star Trek game, and we get that, and I understand that, and there will be more Star Trek coming, I promise. But on the other hand, there are some players that do like the Galaxy Quest content. I like it myself. Like, personally, I just rewatched Galaxy Quest kind of in preparation of this, and it's a fun little movie. That being said, the players have been very vocal about how they feel about this, and this is basically what we've been passing on. Like, the entire CM team has been very consistent about letting sure the team knows that there is this much pushback.
Let me ask this question. I actually asked this, and you tell me if you don't want to talk about it, because it's not on the list. I'm actually going to throw a curveball at you. By the way, I've been playing with Cisco's baseball today. You guys notice I always fidget. Normally I'm chewing on a Lego separator, but today I'm fidgeting with a baseball. Let me ask you this question, because I actually have asked a lot of people what the definition of a crossover is. Because I kind of feel like, in my opinion, and you and I talked about this when we were in Los Angeles, to me, it concerned me, right? Because crossovers, to me, feel like temporary incursions. They feel like a one episode or a 1 month or a one arc kind of series of events that merge the two universes, but like at the end of the day, everybody goes back home. It's like a great big house party, right? Everybody's coming, and Billy jumping off the roof into the swimming pool, and Timmy took his dad's SUV and jammed it into a tree. Like, it's all fun and games, all right? But at the end of the day, you go home. And it has been made very clear that this is not going anywhere, right? Like, this is in the game forever. Thank you, Casey. This is in the game forever. Does that violate the rules of a crossover, so to speak?
I mean, from a traditional crossover standpoint, sure, like a comic book or a TV show or a movie or anything like that, then yeah, the crossover is usually pretty finite. That's a little bit different, I think, in a game like this, and especially a game as complicated as ours, to kind of tear out a whole kind of section, and it is kind of embedded in the mirror universe too. So that, I think, is also going to complicate things. Will it be around for forever and ever? I doubt that. I doubt it'll be, around for years and years to come. But I get what you're saying, that as crossovers go, they should be kind of like this one big event, and then everybody kind of goes back to normal. And like I said, basically more Trek stuff is coming. It's coming next month. We're right back into the Trek again. We tried something different. I like that we tried something different, but I also know that that's not the same feelings that the rest of a lot of the community has.
I don't know that I would go that far. I am always for trying something new. Even a lot of the community that might be on one side of the fence or other has said, I don't actually mind them trying something new. This one's just not for me. Right. I'm actually okay with them trying a concept. This is just not for me. I actually kind of wonder, and this is kind of something you and I just briefly talked about when we were in Los Angeles, if it had been not as closely related, right? Like a completely out of left field, like Transformers, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay.
Just a nerdy side note real fast. If we ever did Transformers, Unicron should be the ship.
I was just saying, like, I kind of wonder, chat, tell me if I'm wrong. Thundercats. Oh my God. Yeah. It'll never be Star Wars, Alpo, okay? Disney doesn't play nice with anybody, okay? Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like, if it had been completely out of left field, would it have actually been better received? I'm kind of wondering, like, especially if it was. Especially, I don't know if you could go back to the Thundercats. There's not many of us that old still anymore. I mean, I don't know. Tarpy says no. Okay. I'm just kind of wondering, chat, like, if it was completely out of left field, would it have felt better as long as it was a temporary incursion? I don't know. I'm just kind of curious about it. Yeah, I mean, I would like Bumblebee as an officer. That would be great.
You know what? I'd kind of like to see, even though it's much closer to kind of sci-fi and stuff. I always thought Battlestar Galactica,
great show.
Would like the reboot that they did would just be super cool to get one of the Battlestars in the game. That would be awesome.
That would be
I'd be
cool.
down for that.
Yeah, I agree. Said the Cylons. I mean, I think that would to me. That's why I think. It sounds interesting, and it sounds fun, and it sounds like, how are they going to do it? But at the end of the day, we still get to go home. And I feel like that is something that maybe Scopely should possibly look at for down the road. Crossovers, I think, are not the enemy here. It's just the fact that it is at its core a Star Trek game and should remain a Star Trek game in its permanent form. All these other games that do crossovers, they are relatively temporary, and then that's right. Lost In says, I don't know, DJs. Remember, Federation ships don't cloak, but the community demanded that. You're right. I mean, I remember when the game was Kelvin only, and then they talked about introducing TNG. Everyone's like, how are they going to do it? But we're excited about it. But how are they going to do it? I don't know. There's different ways that we could have looked at it, and I'm still kind of torn on it. That's why narratively I'm kind of just sitting back, Hammy, and looking at what it does for my game, which is where we can kind of transition into the NSEA Protector. That's right. I think TOS was before TNG. You're right, Shinjo. First of all, chat would like to know if you would please, for the love of God, unplug your tree. The servers are dying again. Hammy, no, listen, last time you came on the show, the servers were dying, and it's because you took the extension cord out of the server room. Okay?
That's true.
You did. And now you did it again. The lights are on. And for those of you who can't see, he took the extension cord, and he plugged up his tree, and now the servers are dying again. Tell me, chat, are your servers dying right now? The servers are dying right now, Hammy. What is happening?
But this is what the kids call fresh content right here. Like, I'm bringing the heat. You should be thanking me. I mean, not for the lag, but for all this fresh content that's just like, boom. I'll tell you what, I think I can do stuff like, let me see. Oh, does that help? If it goes off and on?
Sorry, server 20. You just
there we go.
Oh, God. Sorry, APAC. You just got wiped off the servers. Like, you're done. Okay, all of APAC and half of EU just got deleted. All right.
Oh no, it's still going. Oh no. Well, that's nice. That's kind of nice. Sure, I like that one. I turned him down.
I just want to point out that this is the deal. All right, for all you conspiracy theorists out there, for all you think that I'm this big Scopely shill and they're paying me such big money and all that stuff. We have a deal, all right? Every time we go live on the air, they just shut down the game, so you have to come here. Okay? Tinfoil hat time. All right, you guys heard it here first. I'm finally admitting it. All right?
You said you wouldn't. Dude, what are you doing?
Come
on, man.
There are people out there that just think, all right, yeah, that's Andy says, I knew it. I knew it. There you go. NDA violation. I finally admitted it. Now you guys can take it to the bank. All right, tinfoil hat time. I finally, and that's why I said it. There you go. Oh, yes. The lights on your wall are the path to the multiverse, says Listerine. Yeah.
I love it.
That actually, you know what it does? It looks like the Loki tree. All right. Yeah, that's right, Simo. You guys got it. All right. Let's come back. Let's talk a little bit about the NSEA Protector. Now, this is a ship that is exclusive to 40 plus. So 25 through 40. You guys bear with me for a minute. We're going to come back to it. Let's talk about the NSEA Protector. It is for 40 plus. You and I talked about this. Beck and I talked about this yesterday. This ship, and I'm going to think about the non-chilly way to say this. This ship might actually be a ship that, for one of the first times in the game, actually has a purpose for multiple audiences for different applications. Because I'm actually very impressed with the ship. By the way, with a couple of tweaks. We're going to talk about mining speed. You guys all think it's warp range. It's not. It's mining speed. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Don't get it twisted. Warp range is fine, okay? I'm going to teach you about that here in a little bit. The warp range is fine. It's the mining speed. Spectre says, disagree on the utility of this ship. Spectre, what's your ops level? Because I'm going to bet you're going to fall in. You're 60? Boom. What did I say, hamster? What did I say, buddy? G6 are going to find the least value here. Okay? G6 are going to find the least value with the utility of the ship. As a matter of fact, we're going to go back to the Gorn Eviscerator. G6 players are going to appreciate the refinery if they appreciate it at all. All right? That's right, Lost Dan. It's going to take too long to beat a Selkie. We did the math on it. I don't know if Jules Verne is here or not, but I'm pretty sure we determined that it was going to be roughly tier 11 before it beats a Selkie. That doesn't feel good. All right? Now, on the other hand, Major Samo, G4 player. Hey, you know what? We talked about this. Putts, matters, blue. We talked about this the other night. This ship has the most to give. Are we in a commercial? Really? No, we're not in a commercial, Toby. Stop it, Toby. You're scaring me. Twitch is going to make us take a commercial in a second. And oh, my God, I just realized we've only got like 20 minutes left with Hammy, so we're going to have to speed this up. G4, I think, has the most to gain from the NSEA Protector. Because Major Samo was, I know she's nearly G5, but she's still G4, okay? And G4 has the most to gain. G4 gets warp range, and it does have warp range. G4 is going to get mining speed, which is better than their G4 miners, but not by much. All right? And most importantly, I think, is the punch-up mechanic. You guys remember when we were talking last month about how, for example, in G5, all right, and this exists in G4 too, but there was such a huge power gap. That's right, Shiz, the damage boost. There was such a huge gap. Let's take a look at it from G5 perspective. There was no hostile in between 50 and 58. You guys remember us talking about that? You're like, why is there such a big, wide gap between 50 and 58? Well, I can grind the 50s all day long, and it's boring. I can kill them in infinity, all right? But I can't even touch or even get to a 58. Well, that problem is now solved. The ship will have the warp range to get you there after a few tiers, and it's got the damage to actually allow you to do something. Putz agrees, says, listen, the 40s and the 48s, same kind of thing. There's not really a big gap for Trillium D between 40 and 48. Actually, that's not true. It's 40 and 45, but then to 51. So nothing between 45 and 51. Right? So big gaps. the Protector is going to close that gap significantly. G4, hey, Toby, thank you. G4 have the most to gain. Warp range, mining speed, combat abilities. G5 is going to help close the gap a little bit. It's going to allow them to punch up to those 58s, to those 60s, to those 61s. And then G6 are left with pretty much nothing except for the refinery. And we can come back and talk about the refinery. The refinery for a G4 player, it's kind of amazing. Free primes, free epic officer. The refinery is pretty stout, to be honest with you. What does a G6 player get? G6 player is going to get Gwen DeMarco. All right? That's pretty much probably all you guys have going for you in that refinery, right? Gwen DeMarco. And some new research. Research that is okay, right? But doesn't feel like the quantum research or the premium, right? I mean, it doesn't feel like the original mirror research. Spectre says G6 also gets hazards, particles. That's true. That's fair. G6 is going to get hazard particles. That's fair. All right. So I kind of get that, but at the same time, there is something that each generation of players can kind of enjoy about the ship, with the most of it coming at G4. I think G4 gets the biggest bang for their potential buck here with the NSEA Protector. The Omega 13 is kind of a cool ability. We're going to talk mechanically a little bit more about that coming up on the other side of our break here when Hammy departs. But let me ask you, Hammy, and kind of circling all back on this, as far as the NSEA Protector, when you guys were going through the design process, obviously it was clear that you guys thought that there were certain things that different generations of players needed. Do you feel that there are any adjustments, based on your reaction from the community, do you feel that there are any adjustments necessary or need to be investigated when it comes to the NSEA Protector?
I do. Two of the big things that we heard is mining speed. And actually, you and I had a conversation about this. I was kind of surprised because we kind of switched sides, because and the other one is kind of warp range, because I noticed that at tier 1 you can't get to the first new Treldy system just on its own, like right out of the box. And you came back saying, well, with the right research, with the right crewing, you can make it out there to actually get it. But I still think that should, those are two things that can be improved. The good news is we were able to raise those in a number of different meetings. And while I can't say 100% it's going to be happening, the team is considering it. And I'm cautiously optimistic about that, because that was the mining speed primarily is what I heard from day 1, day 2, and even in my game, I was kind of surprised that because when it's like something like 80,000 or something at tier 2, and it was just not bringing in as much as I was expecting. So those two things are what we're going to be looking into primarily, and what the team is considering.
I obviously am never going to say don't make it better. You want to improve the warp range on it? Absolutely. Let's improve the warp range on it. I think that there are enough other tools in the game that allow, like, for example, didn't we guys actually get, now my research is higher and I've got access to some other researches that not everybody will get to, but that being said, I took a tier 1 out of the box and took it to warp 125 system. All right, so there are ways to do that, and really truthfully, if I'm not mistaken, we come up and we take a look, where does Trellium D start? Trellium D starts at warp 120. So if you could take, I agree, Herb says that's harder for G4 players, but it's also tier 1. So maybe it takes tier 2. If tier 2 got you to Trellium D space, it's still not that bad. Free to play. Well, I say free to play because you had to buy the ship. But if you don't buy to upgrade the ship, guess how long tier 2 takes? 3 days. 3 days. Now, that's great. What do you find when you finally get to Trellium D space? That's right, Herbs. How would you use it? Therein lies my problem with it, Hammy. This thing, the damage boost on it is stout. I don't think anybody is complaining that it's not hitting hostiles hard enough. They're doing pretty good with that. It's the mining speed. Absolutely the mining speed. they get out to Trillium D space for the first time, and it's not doing enough. Now, for example, this is where players like you and I will look a little bit differently at the math. Samo, for example, says, hey, listen, compared to my G3 miner, it's doing pretty good, right? You told me that you were using a G4 rare miner, right, Hammy? That's what you were comparing it to. I'm comparing
G5, but yeah.
Okay, G5. Oh, a G5 rare? No wonder you were disappointed with it. Because guess what? Yeah. To get to the G5 rare, it's going to take like tier 8 to get better. All right? I'm using a Nova. It takes me, I think, tier 6, tier 7 to get better than the Nova. And Canine Tooth, Jonathan Ingram, and Istio have all three been able to come back and say, hey, listen, against a 68 miner, it'll never beat it. Ever. A maxed tier, 15 protector will never beat the 68 miner. It shouldn't be that way. All right, now granted, a 68 miner is beast mode in this game. I get that. But it's a specialty ship meant for mining Trillium. It should always be faster. So Destro says, my tier 5 Nova is about 4 times faster than a tier 2 protector. And that's the point, right? Your tier 5 Nova is a G5 ship. It's going to mine faster than a tier 2 protector. That's fine. And I think that's what they kind of did with the breakdowns, Hammy, because if you're a tier 5 Nova, then you're probably what? Ops 53 to 54. Ballpark. Okay? Yeah. Well, that's probably tier 6, tier 7 on the Nova, or on the protector. If this ship, Hammy, had another factor of 10 on the mining laser, I don't know, that sounds crazy. But Chad, is it really that crazy? Jules, is it really that crazy? I mean, it's already thousands of %. All right? Increase it by another, by a factor of another 1,000%. Now you've got something. We went into commercial? Really? Seriously? Hammy, God. I wasn't taking commercial breaks for you. I canceled all the commercial breaks. I was just going to stay with you, just you and me, man, just hammering it out, having a great conversation and talking and all this stuff. And Twitch sends the entire audience to break. You want to dance with me? Guys, you don't know this. During the pre-show, when I was playing the 80s music, all right, Hammy did not let on like he noticed, all right? But, see, Hammy, this is like a television studio, okay? It's like a television studio. So I was dancing. Oh, I was grooving to the beat, all right? And I was all for it. And then I saw you, Hammy, out of the corner of your eye, just glance over and like giggle for a second because I had him muted. He wasn't paying a bit of attention to me. I watched him not watching me, and I'm dancing for like 2 solid minutes. All right, and then finally, like, he's just over here tapping away on his keyboard, and then he looks over and like spits his brown drink out of his nose. What were you drinking, by the way? Looks like
it was some coffee. It was some iced coffee.
Is that what that was? It looked a lot thicker than coffee. It looked like...
Well, okay, all right. Since I had no idea we were going to be talking about this, but it's basically, it's kind of gross, actually. I mean, it tastes fine, and I like it.
It was gross, yeah.
So it's like cold brew coffee, but instead of putting like a creamer in, I put like a scoop of like protein, like vanilla protein powder, and then stir it all in. But I always put in way too much protein powder, so there are all these big chunks of like vanilla protein powder.
Ew.
And I'll tell you what, I had no idea this conversation was going here today because like. Listen. I knew you saw me taking sips, and by the way,
no, you might as well have done it with a spoon, dude. You might as well have just been eating it like ice cream. So, yeah.
By the way, there's a proud Canadian tradition of giving peeps their privacy when they're dancing. So I was just giving you your full privacy and letting you do whatever.
Okay.
I was just too polite to I'm just like I'm doing my thing over here. He's doing his thing over there. It's all good.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Peter Swanson says there is no such thing. BS. Juby says no way, dude. I'm telling you, I was going full ham, like just. I mean, rocking it out. And I just kept waiting for him to look over. And he never did. He just just sitting there typing on his little laptop, and it's tap, tap, tap. Then he looks over at me and just goes right back. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say right now. I mean, it was, I know I just said full ham to a hamster. Get it?
I caught that too.
Yeah, thank you.
I am getting a ping that actually lag is getting kind of bad.
The game is shut down, Hammy. It's done.
No, but like I've been kind of pinged by some people in chat right now. So, okay, are we seeing it? It's pretty much on U.S. servers.
Is it U.S. servers or European servers? Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I wasn't kidding. The game is shut. I shut down the game. Okay.
Lights are off, man. Lights are off. It was all fun and games.
I was making it up. Hammy thought I was making it up. It was the tree, dude. Of course it was the tree.
It was the tree. The tree is off. Let me. Okay.
You know what? It's time for a compact.
We're gonna
10,000 green directives, please.
Let me. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of U.S. servers being listed in chat right now. Let me see if we have someone on that I can. This is me working in real time. I don't know. If this is like a scoop or it's just kind of like derailing the conversation completely.
No, it's completely fine.
But it seems like we've got. And what kind of lag is it? Is it like combat? Is it chess, or is it just kind of general? I'm seeing a lot of U.S. servers here.
Yeah, it is. It does look mostly. Oh my God! Countaville says it's a network error. We've got network error back. Oh God. Blade says it's everything. Ship stuck. Slow response time. Can't open packs. Wait, can't open packs. What are you trying to buy there, dude? He's like, listen, I can't open the 13 packs I just bought. That's priority, Hammy. The pay store's down.
Okay.
You guys you 911 that thing right now. All right.
Really?
Nesbitt says, because everyone's out there farming Fatu Cray. All right. Sir Tail says, clicking claim, says no longer available. Hostile stuck in combat. Oh, boy. There we go. Deathblade says, I've had to restart the game 11 times. Peter Swanson says, we've been saying this for a half hour already. Okay, it's not, listen, it's not a Q&A right now. Okay, I had a prepared show, and then I was going to come to you guys at the end for a little. This is how you know it's live. This is right here. This is how you know it's live, all right? You can make fun of me all you guys want. This is live content, all right? This is what happened. Hammy's going to ignore me for the next 5 minutes while he's in dev chat, escalating all you guys' server reports about me shutting down the server so you guys would come and watch and listen to my content. All right, Hammy, leave it alone. I did this, okay? This is me.
What's the error code that people are seeing?
Network error 502. Is it 2 this time or 4? 4 is the one we had last time. Network error 502. Is that what you guys are getting? Disco says, my network is so slow, I'm not even getting the network error message.
Message 502. 502.
Is that what you... Listen, don't say it. He's actually with the engineers. Don't say it if it ain't real. Is it 502? All right, Guru says, no, there's no errors for him. Just takes 30 seconds to do anything. Big delays. Although Savage Darkness is saying 502, and Hani is saying 502. Okay, so some people getting 502.
Claiming chess, and it's just delays in basically everything. Claiming chess, combat.
Do you need to go? Give them their extension cord back?
I might have to. Let me get this. Let me get this posted. Combat claiming chests.
Yep. In the meantime, guys, I'm going to remind you about our daily stream goals. I'm going to change the daily stream goal to going back to sponsoring 3 new hamsters. Hold on. I got you guys. Hold on. Let's see. Who was it? Sarah McLaughlin. All right, you guys asked for this earlier. This is your guys' fault. You guys asked for me to do the save a hamster bit, and now the servers have crashed. And now you're going to get the save a hamster bit. Okay, this is your guys' fault. Can't believe. Uh-oh. Every 3.2 days, a Scopely server in Culver City burns to the ground. In the destruction, the aftermath of sadness, destruction, defeat, in the world of Star Trek Fleet Command comes together to mourn the loss of yet another hamster. Who stayed until the very end, spinning the wheel as hard as he possibly could, watching the servers go down one at a time, losing all of his energy to the point where he just could not spin the wheel anymore. Your donation of $99.99 will help provide Scopely with the resources that they need to support this hamster's family and replenish him with more cheap labor. You can do your part today to take care of the Scopely servers by using !tip, !donate to give your $100 today to help a hamster in need. For only $3.33, you can do your part. For less than the price of a vanilla protein-packed, melted, glumpy, vanilla bean iced coffee,
it's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste.
You can be a hero. All right, there you go, everybody. That's what you've been asking for. You guys, that's what you get now, okay? Leave me alone. This is your fault. Eddie says I've already donated. Thank you. Thank you very much. !tip, !donate. I will indeed make sure that Scopely receives 3 new hamsters for every $100 that you guys donate, okay? I promise.
That was actually really good.
Thank you.
It was a little distracting as I'm trying to type these messages, like these emergency messages.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure why.
But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So my attention is going to be kind of split because I need to kind of keep an eye on things, and I want to thank some of the mods who kind of alerted me over Discord that things were pretty bad because I got a ping on my phone too.
Oh, okay. So you just weren't listening to me when I said it. Okay, cool. Gotcha. No big deal. Okay, no problem.
I don't know, man.
Thank you.
Like when a mod tells me something, I'm just like, whoa, this is on fire. But come on, it's you.
When I tell you something, it's no big deal. DJ just exaggerating
yeah.
again. It's all for content.
Apologies to chat. I should have jumped on that a lot sooner. Lessons have been learned today, and I will hopefully keep you up to date on what's going on with the lag. I don't know if it has something to do with Redis Labs because I think that did have a big impact on the day that shall not be spoken of anymore. So
was it Redis? No, that was AWS that day, wasn't it? That was
AWS.
AWS that day, yeah. Yes, I will do that, okay? I see in the chat that the chat loves you so much that they're not worried about the lag. They just want me to start a fundraiser to get you a drink frother for your coffee protein paste.
I'll be honest, it's pure laziness. I should just try and mix it up or something, but I just take a fork and just stir it around.
Oh, God. You mix your coffee with a fork?
Yeah, because it's all chunky, right? So you got to get all the chunks.
Oh, my God.
Or as many as you can.
It's so disgusting, dude. It's awful.
It's okay. Like if you put powdered creamer in your coffee, like I'm not a big fan of powdered creamer, but this is just like the same thing, except like a little bit. Now I'm getting criticized from mods about using a fork.
Yes, as you should be. I mean, at least use a spoon. At least use a spoon, for God's sakes. All right. Yeah, this is the product of Canada, everybody. Right here. This is what Canada sent us. All right. All right. Oh, that's great. All right. Listen, I would like to stop with the fork memes. Oh my God. Now all the memes and the forks and things. Good God Almighty. Chat, Karkin, Dr. Juby wants you to stand up for us. Can you come in as the high as a kite Canadian, please, and tell us that you don't mix coffee with a fork? All right, for the love of Pete.
When I was making my delicious drink earlier today, I had zero idea that this was going to be something we were going to be talking about later on. Like,
oh my God.
Zero. It was just my secret shame that I kept to myself, and again, I'm shocked that the conversation has gone in this direction.
May I please just switch over very quickly, if you guys don't care, to my Discord right now, if you guys are happening to be in chat or on video playback of this. Right now, you guys see all the fork memes that are coming through Discord right now. Okay, yeah, I know it's ridiculous. This is crazy. All right. E Double Sharp says, "My word, Hammy, you are the straightest, craziest nerd who has ever nerded."
He must be referring to his spork that he's using. Spork.
And I see this in the chat. Listen, you guys are making fun of the fork when it's really the lumpy clumps in his coffee that we should be worried about. I agree. All right. Goodness gracious me, oh my. All right. Can we get? Oh, hey, Hunter! Thank you for the raid in. Appreciate you. What's up? Welcome. Oh my goodness gracious!
But if there's one thing I want everybody to know, it's like I might be a little too honest about stuff. Like, there's a million different things that I could have replied to about that drink that you raised before, and I could have said anything, and I just went with the truth, as horrible as it is.
Sure.
Like, that's the kind of honesty that you will get when asking me about.
Thank you.
Drinks that I have.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it kindly.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now, circling back around, I'm going to ask JJ. JJ says, man, I just need another comp chest. I just lost a Chimera Directive. I just lost Wave Defense. I just lost Mirror Universe vouchers. I know, Hammy, what you going to do? What you going to do, Hammy? 10,000
first we'd have to get a handle.
10,000. Okay, not
10,000.
Nah, not 10,000. 1,000.
I'm
going to 1,000. I think 1,000.
I'll write that down.
Gonna write down.
I'll write it down.
No, literally 1,000. Now, okay, let me just be serious. You guys gave 3,000 mirror vouchers that month. That was basically equivalent to 10 entries. 10. Give us 10 chimeras. Give us 10 starts. Nobody is going to beat them all. I mean, except for maybe Istio or K9 or John. Nobody's going to kill them all. All right? I died to the first one I tried. I died to the very first one I tried. I'm just saying you should do it. All right, anyway, NSEA Protector. For those of you who have purchased the ship, all right, then we're going to talk to you guys here for a couple of minutes about some of the utility and the loop, all right? For those of you who have not bought the ship but are indeed 40 plus, then the ship comes when, Hammy? I mean, here's the thing. It's a little bit confusing because the event store is going to be down. We're not going to be earning the eye patches, which is the event currency that allows us to buy the blueprints. If the event store is going away and the event is going away so we can't earn the eye patches, how are players supposed to grind out the Protector?
Well, and this is something that I've been following up so far, because I don't have an exact time frame for how long it takes, and I've heard that you can actually max out the number of pulls on the Protector's blueprints.
Yeah, there's cooldowns, man. Why?
Yeah, and that I think is to kind of keep it in line with getting the ship to free to play in about, and I know this isn't super popular, but 90-ish days, 3 months ish is usually the time frame. I know. But actually, one thing I do like, because this is something that we heard a lot of for the Eviscerator, a lot of for the Enterprise as well, players can source it day one, which is not something we did with the Eviscerator. The Eviscerator, the comms on that were like I fought for comms on when it was going to start happening, and when the event started rolling out. You know, it's I think a month later. Getting it day one sourcing, I think, is an improvement, because at least we know it's coming. And like I said, this event store is coming back later in the month. It will be coming back in at least the plan right now is to have it come back in multiple months after this arc. So it is going to be a recurring thing. And I think that it's been staggered the way it is so that it'll be about 90 days. That's my guess. I haven't heard 90 days officially, though.
Let me ask this question.
As long as it doesn't go the way of the incursions.
Well, yeah, War Room would be another good example, okay, truthfully. But let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. What is the mindset behind you're currently offering a solo leaderboard, right? You're offering a solo leaderboard for extra loot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So why a cooldown in the store? Why should somebody who competes, grinds out, wins that solo leaderboard or places high to get extra loot, why should they not be able to unlock the ship faster?
I think that's a great question. I still think it's just because the cadence of free to play for ships is that it's typically about 3 months usually. Again, I don't have. I've been asking to see if we have an exact time frame, but that is my guess right now, which I know isn't.
Shit says not just an SLB, but a region leaderboard. All right, now listen. I am not probably going to be the person that's going to be like super fussy hateful over the regional leaderboard. It's a global leaderboard, guys. Like I am not personally against that concept. What I am against is that I think it should pay out big. I mean, seriously, I think if you're going to do a regional leaderboard, you're talking about top 3, top 5, top 10 players out of tens of thousands. Maybe even 100,000 players. If you're going to win top 3, top 5, top 10, I mean, it should be a stupid prize. It should be, if you're going to sit there and you're going to win this event, it should be a tier, call me crazy, it should be a tier 5 Gwen DeMarco. One person. Hammy, do you think that's crazy though? Listen. One person out of 100,000 who grinds, doesn't buy, but grinds. Well, I guess in this particular case, it would be kind of a buy thing. But I'm just saying, it should be big, right? It should be big. Tarpy says there's brackets, and I get there's, okay, fine, a tier 3. 300, 400 Gwen DeMarco shards then. I mean, should it not be big? Should it not be massive? It's, we have this, Hammy, you weren't here for this. We had, Wham will remember this, and who did he, Scott. It was Scott and Wham that went head-to-head in a Galaxy, like a cross-server Galaxy leaderboard. You guys remember when they put it on the website? Like, they didn't even have the capability of putting it in the game. Right? They had to do it on the website. Do you guys remember this? And it was all about killing. It was just killing hostiles, wasn't it? I don't, maybe it was damaged. I don't remember. But it was a worldwide leaderboard that you could only keep up with on StarTrekFleetCommand.com. Like, they didn't even have tools in the game to be able to do this. So if you're, but by the way, so my point is, I digress. You know what the winning server got, Hammy?
What?
A week-long bonus refinery, back when bonus refineries were actually good. I mean, that was a hell of a prize. The winning servers got a bonus refinery when the bonus refineries were good. That's right. Dr. Juby remembers. Stevens Aaron remembers. And Pepperidge Farm remembers. Okay? I mean, that was a prize. You represented your server. I remember, I mean, there were wars on my server, but we stopped. We put everything to the side to support the players on our server who were actually competing. And by the way, server 15 was one of the top 5 servers. We got that bonus refinery. And now we get an avatar? Now, in its current form, a regional leaderboard probably doesn't look like it makes a lot of sense. All right, I get it. In theory, I love this concept. Hammy, a global leaderboard. I think that's awesome. Right? I'm glad that Scopely is tinkering with said technology. And community, you can be mad at me all you want, but what if the prizes were stinky good? And what if, by the way, they decided to do something that wasn't spender? What if they decided to do something that was just grindy? Hostile kills or go do this, some terrible task that you guys like doing. What if the Fatu Cray was the regional leaderboard and the prize was an instant tier 3 Gwen DeMarco? Who's not going to try to play that? Andy, you don't have to worry about the 2K limit because event scoring will always score. You just don't get the loot drops. Okay? But you could still score in events. Catman says, what if pigs could fly? I agree. I'm not, all I'm saying is, Hammy, regional leaderboard, very cool tech. Is it possible that you guys are just experimenting with this tech because it's brand new tech and that's why the rewards are poopy? Yeah. He's not listening. He's drinking his coffee paste.
You know, some of us are trying to work over here.
I'm only 8 minutes over my time, but okay.
And to your point, I agree. If we're going to do something with this many people competing, I think the rewards should be spectacular. I think what you were talking about with the bonus refinery for the winning server, that sounds super cool. Sounds like it was way before my time.
Yeah, not anymore. Don't do that.
Yeah, but no. Bonus refinery is now going to be the new RLB rewards going forward. But no, I agree that you know, it should be pretty spectacular. You know, I can take this back and see what I can get done to change up the rewards a little bit. I don't think we're going to be able to do a tier 5 DeMarco though. That's a bit much.
I was just saying, what if it was 50 protector blueprints or 100 protector blueprints, half the ship?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this Cruzito said it's not new tech. Don't make it seem like it's a big deal. It is. I mean, maybe it's not new tech, but it's new writing. It's new mechanics. I mean, we've never had this form of everybody playing in this kind of thing. All right? And I just think that I'm not against it. Every game out there has global leaderboards. Every game has global leaderboards, rankings, and you know, the world standings and the World Cups and the World Series and the Super Bowl and all this. I'm just saying, like, make it a big deal. Make it a big deal. And it could be, I'm not against the concept of it. Just make it a big deal. What is the idea, Hammy? Why are you guys introducing this? By the way,
the regional lead?
Yeah, it wasn't
like
on his
regional
list. It wasn't
leader
on his list of questions. I'm totally surprising him right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, this is.
I'm making it very uncomfortable right now. Okay, we don't have to talk about
well, no, I mean, okay, so this is kind of my take on it. I like to see them try different things, and we haven't done a regional leaderboard in a while. Could the rewards be different or better? Absolutely. But I'd rather us try something different than kind of just running the same things over and over again. Even with like the IMS, that's something, you know, that we will probably have to work on the timing or you know, maybe rework it or something in the future. But again, I would rather see them try something different than just kind of doing the same things over and over. And I think this month there should be some kind of interesting things coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, the patch notes indicate that Alliance tournaments are around the corner. I know that is taboo. We can't talk about that tonight. But yeah, that does look somewhat interesting. And I just want to kind of see how that's going to work out in practicality. All right, last question. I know you're trying to work, so let me get this last one off our list, and then I'm going to let you go because you know you need to take their extension cord back. I asked you for something crazy. I said, Hammy, I feel disappointed that the Omega 13 ability is single ship targeted ability. The way that the patch notes worded it, the way that it was worded to me, wording, right? That's the thing. The way that it was described just felt bigger than what we actually got.
Yep.
I made the formal official request, community, to change Omega 13 ability into a Titan style ability so it affects everybody. Heavy, after all the laughter died down about 28 minutes later, can you tell me Could you tell me what happened during some of those conversations?
Yep, and I think I know what the exact point of confusion was, and was some of the description I think that came from one of the internal teams, because I remember the picture you sent me. You pinged me pretty late at night, and about this, and I was like, "What are you talking about? It's not. I don't know even." But then you showed me the actual text, and I think the way it was written, it says, "Can target itself." Or all other ships in the system.
It said and all other
ships.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's right. If the or would have been very helpful there. Like, or other ships in the system, but they said or all other ships in the system. It sounds like you can hit up all the other ships and give them all the Omega-13, which would be pretty cool. And I totally get where that miscommunication came from. However, because we had that conversation, I actually went back to the team to see if this is possible. I went to the actual design team who was working on the ship to see if this is something that we can put in game. The problem is I don't think we'll be able to update the ship the way it is. There was discussion of possibly a refit sometime in the future, but that, again, I can't promise that that's something that will happen. But there was actually a pretty long thread just discussing the possibility of introducing it to the game. I'd love to see it. I think that'd be super cool if you could just Omega-13 a whole bunch of ships and then just go on a raid, or go attack somebody, or even taking on hostiles or something. Would be super cool. But it was that one line on the patch notes that really kind of, I think, miscommunicated what it was actually doing. It was when it said or all other ships in the system. It sounds like you should do all other ships, like the Titan, basically.
Now, for the record, I don't want to necessarily go on record and say that it should be all systems, Cabbage.
Right.
That
like
was
5 or 6 ships or something.
Yeah, I'm talking specifically like Titan style ability. Like as you tier it up or level it up, then maybe it can do a little bit better. It is Wood Cannon, basically the Cerritos ability, and it just, I don't know, I felt like it was not kind of... Hammy, I described it to you like this, and I don't know, chat, maybe I'm crazy. Have you ever been like super excited about something and you thought, well, this is better than I imagined it would be? Like, I would have paid XYZ for this service or feature, but it's going to be even better. And I'm super excited about it now, right? Like you said, if I can't even, I don't know a good example. You go to a car lot. You go to a car lot, and the car you want, you were prepared. You had a budget. You were ready to spend $30,000. And then you get to the car lot, and the salesperson says, it's only $25,000. And you're super excited. You're like, hell yeah. And then you find out that it's the base model that doesn't have power locks and no power windows and doesn't have air conditioning. And you're like, well, crap. And then he's like, oh, but wait, I do have this model over here that's $30,000 that does have everything you want. And even though you were ready to buy it at $30,000, now you just don't want to because you're kind of feeling dirty about it. Yeah. I don't know if there's much more to say about it. I'm disappointed with Omega-13. Mechanically, it works. But I know that a large population they hang on your guys' words. You know how many Hammy, you know how many people still talk about quality over quantity? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, the community hangs on words. The communication has to be better, man. Right?
I agree.
It's a dangerous road.
This one's on us. This one's on us. That was worded in a way that could be misinterpreted very, very easily. It slips out, and we need to do better in the future to make sure there aren't these kinds of misunderstandings. Because again, when you showed me that the exact language that was in the patch notes that we got from the kind of an internal team, I saw exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that should not have gone out the way that it was. And so, we're going to go back and we're going to take a look and to make sure that, even going back to March, we've been trying to improve communications across the board. I think we've done a good job on that, but this one just kind of slipped past us, and we just need to do better next time.
I am going to give credit where credit's due. You've been phenomenal. Communication is 1,000% improved. No, listen, I mean, it's deserved.
Right. Well, thank you. It's not just me. It's a team. It's Beck. It's Sierra, Polly. We got a whole bunch of, kind of CMs on VIP helping out too. But it's been a team effort to get comms up and running.
I want to give credit where credit is due. Communications have been phenomenally better, exponentially better. This was a slip, and it feels disappointing. And I know the community kind of wanted to ask about that a little bit and see, if there was the ability to actually make it what you guys said. Like, is there a way to fix it to be what you guys actually accidentally promoted?
Right. And that's what I was talking about. After I talked with you, I did go back and talk to the team that designed the ship, and they were actually interested. Like, this sounds like a really kind of cool idea. The only thing is, I don't think it's going to be able to be implemented at this point, but it potentially for a refit down the line.
Okay. So technology. I mean, I guess it could. The Titan's there, right? Titans exist.
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Hammy, I have kept you past your time. Thank you for being a good sport. I know you've got a lot of work, and the servers are still burning down, and they still need their extension cord back. Any final words or anything that you would like to say to the players before we let you
go? Just basically that I always love coming by here and having a chat about things. This has been a pretty up and down week because honestly the launch day was kind of eerily quiet. There were people that were really just kind of exploring the content, and I don't think things really started exploding till yesterday. But I just want to thank everybody for stopping by. Please feel free to come by official and ping me, and I'll try and reply. I get a lot of pings in a day, but if you want to, like one or two. But I'm always happy to chat with people over on official. Polly's over there helping too. I don't know if you've interacted with Polly much. You maybe have on the other server that we work on.
Yeah.
But he's great. So anybody's free just to stop by, hang out, and say hello.
Yeah. Sorry. I have one more. And we talked about it tonight before we. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
All right.
The ISS Enterprise, the loot goblin. Dude, the loot goblin is like bonking us, man. Like, it's not like...
Yeah.
Aren't loot goblins supposed to be bonuses, not kick you in the pants and send you home, man? The loot goblin is a penalty marker, man. Those ISS Enterprises are kicking tail. Has anybody actually out there actually hit... I know it's amazing kill first, but is anybody actually, like, killing them?
Well, depends how far down you hit. Like, I found one in like I don't know, like a level 50 system or something like that, and I had no problem. That was pretty easy. I don't. So if you set your expectations, to go to a lower system, then they're easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Okay.
And the thing is, here's the thing. I can. Here's the thing. I knew that you were going to talk about this, and I can raise that to the team.
You almost got away with it. Thank you, chat, for reminding me about it. Thank you. I almost forgot about it.
Here's the thing. I could raise this to the team, but I actually noticed in the the Omega research tree, there is actually a node for specifically the ISS Enterprise that increases damage. I don't know, it's like by 100,000% or something like that. It's something massive, like 10,000 or something. So I could try raising the team, but they're probably just going to point to the research and say, like, look, this is in there. So perhaps, I'm fine to do it, but I'm pretty sure I know where it's going to go.
Perhaps then we could just maybe modify the UI so that if you're playing fully zoomed out, that you don't just think you're hitting another normal hostile.
Now, that's something I can definitely look into, because they should be designated something else. But, I mean, kind of the loot goblin's also kind of the surprise.
Surprise! Here, I'm going to take your 300 vouchers and send you home on your very merry, happy way.
True. True. Okay, I'm going to take a note of that, just to see if we can designate it as kind of a special ship.
Can we make them surveys? Can we make them surveys?
Oh, maybe make them surveys. I don't know how difficult that would be to switch, but we can try.
I mean, something different, something that looks different. Because if you're playing zoomed out, then you just see the interceptor or the explorer, whatever. If you made it a survey, at least we would know. Like, it would be a different emblem, right? It'd be a different triangle.
Yep.
I saw it in chat. Like, some people kill triangles, they don't zoom in and play. If you made it a survey or if you made it a different color, what are those hostels that have the different color tags in them, like Texas Class? I don't know, just something. Just make them, make them look a little, maybe just to help out a little bit.
Yeah.
By the way,
right,
I do love the idea of these loot goblins. We've had them before. The assimilated traders and the Ferengi traders, things like the Voyager scouts. All right, I'm fine with that mechanic. Just make them look a little bit easier so that we don't die and waste our directives like I did the other day.
Sure. I'm happy to raise that and see what I can do.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about the IMS plays, so we're going to have to come back to that. Gwen DeMarco sourcing? Gwen DeMarco sourcing is in the Fatu... No. Gwen DeMarco sourcing is in the Liquid Refinery. No. Gwen DeMarco sourcing is in the non-hostile Armada.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Where's...
No, yes. It's the Chimera. Hold on, I got it for you. It's the Chimera salvage.
Yes. So in other words, what we're saying is you've got to own the ship. No, these are Chimeras.
No, it's the Ceres Invasion store,
which comes from the Chimera hostels, which you don't need the new ship for. So in other words, you've got to beat the Armadas to get DeMarco. So DeMarco is technically locked behind the non-hostile Armadas. They're locked behind the directive sourcing. But again, we're coming back, that's right, certainly. We're coming back to that goes away, right? So if we're only able to run potentially 3 to 4 Armadas a month, I think people are concerned about Gwen DeMarco sourcing. Is it currently the plan that she is exclusively through this loop?
Ooh, I would have to follow up with that question with the team. I did not come here with the information about
and that's fair. I think
extra sourcing.
And chat, that is well deserved because I did throw that one on him. That was something that you guys pulled out of the chat, and I know that we had mentioned, Hammy, like literally after we were already on the air is, what does Gwen DeMarco look like? So that is something we'd like to take back and see if we can find. I think it comes back to the refinery piece, right? If the refinery just stayed up, then we probably have solved our problem. But anyway, guys, we are way over our time. Hammy, you are a delightful guest, as always. Thank you for being so polite and not just bouncing out at your time. He was actually scheduled to be done at 9:30, guys. It's 9:55. What a champ! What a champ! Huh? Thanks, dude. Really appreciate it. Always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. Go, please, plug the servers back in. Okay.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do about the lag. I'm letting teams know, and I'm on it, peeps. So thank you so much for having me. I always have a blast stopping by. So thanks, DJ.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Guys, we'll be back right after these words. We're going to take a very quick break. And on the other side, as promised, we're going to quick and dirty this actual mechanic. So if you're wanting to know how to play in this brand new loop, if you're wanting to know what ships, what crew, and all the funsies, then we're going to try to make this nice, quick, and easy for you on the other side of this break. My name is Ultimate DJs. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. We'll return right after these words from our mighty fine sponsors. This portion of the show brought to you by CrazyBunch.org. Are you old like Bubba Joe and get tired playing video games? Surtail has a solution for your health and wellness needs, especially while gaming. You could try an energy gummy for those long incursion events, or just to keep yourself conscious while you're doing all that mining. Surtail is an independent distributor of all aerial products you'll need to improve your gaming experience. Message Surtail on Discord or visit CrazyBunch.org pvptarget.org for more information. Yo, what's up, Commanders? Great news about pvptarget.com. You've known for a while that it exists and has some great reference tools regarding PvP banding and common crew loadouts, but they've recently launched brand new tools on the site, including a brand new cargo calculator page as well. This isn't your typical max cargo style calculator, but a brand new, unique tool that identifies the timer until you go over cargo. The game timer might tell you how long to zero the node, but how long until your miner is at risk? You can find out now by using the brand spanking new cargo calculator at pvptarget.com. Today's show brought to you in part by the Musgrove Trial Firm in Georgia. Have you suffered personal injury in Georgia? You need a buddy. Give Buddy at the Musgrove Trial Firm a call, 678-226-1994. Visit them online at musgrovetrialfirm.com.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. I feel commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
All right, all the Canadians, don't look at me right now, okay? Because apparently it is rude to look at me while I am dancing foolishly. Okay, don't look at me. Stop it.
Going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you.
All right, I'm done. I am already. I am terribly scared of the memes and clips that are going to come from the last 30 seconds of stream. All right, I should not have done that. Thank you. E Double Sharp says, dude, you read my comment and edited it on the fly. I am not happy you did it, but at least it was smooth. What was your comment? Because there was probably a trigger word in there that I had to be careful about. I don't know exactly what it was. Hi, Seth. How you doing, man? We were. I was just celebrating with the community because Hammy just rickrolled us. All right. I'm just kidding. He didn't. I know. It was crazy. All right, guys, listen. It is dangerous in here. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the show. My name is Ultimate DJs. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. On the wrap-up portion, we're getting ready to do mechanics. Now, listen, I know. Listen, I saw it in the chat. Hang on. Are you still here? Nux, are you still here? I hope Nux is still here. We just had to take a break real quick. He said, all I want to know is about the IMS. And then Guru chimes in, like, Hammy doesn't even know they have different milestones. Yes, he does. All right. Maybe I didn't vocally say that here on this stage, but yes, he does. And we already know, and I have told you guys at some point probably in the past that there are 6. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different versions. Okay. 6 different sets. Cruzito says, why the softball question? Really? Softball question? What did you want me to say? What did you want me to say, Cruzito? Hey, Hammy, why does the game suck so bad today? Is that what you wanted me to say? I'm sorry, I can't actually say that. All right. He says, yes, I can't actually say that. All right. That being said, Nux says, I'm here, tell me. So there are 6 different versions of the IMS. He basically said, yeah, I think the math is off on this one. Here's the thing, and I was talking to him about it, and then you guys pointed out to me that the refinery goes away. See, I even told him, I said, hey, No, Cruzito. That's not accurate in any way, shape, or form, and you know better than that. That being said, I even incorrectly assumed that this event was bad to run on day 2. This event, I said, should not have run on day 2. It should have run on day 10. All right? Except you guys corrected me because it doesn't matter when it runs because the refinery goes away. I'm curious, and I'd like to come to the panel. Matters, good evening. Welcome in. Hope you had a good time. I hope the interview was somewhat constructive. Some people say I'm taking it too easy. You guys got to remember my relationship with them. My relationship is different than other people's relationship because of the way that I interact with them. All right? I'm not going to be a butthead. All right? I can disagree. I can have a pleasantly nice conversation without being an asshole. Crazy. I know it doesn't seem possible, but I am capable of being a professional, yet at the same time expressing my dissatisfaction. Just throwing it out.
It's fun to be an asshole.
All right? It is sometimes fun to be an asshole, but not at the detriment of my personal and business relationships. All right? That being said, Lango says I'm a salesman. You're damn straight I am. Okay? I am a good salesman. I know how to talk to people, and I also know how to convince them to do things sometimes. All right? I get more wins for you guys than you guys realize. That being said, I only get those wins, and I only get these interviews, and I only get those guests, and I only get these activities, and I only get these types of involvement and these types of access because I'm not an asshole. Hold on. Now, Savage Darkness, I'm going to punch you right in the throat.
The chat takes care of that part.
I'm going to punch you right in the throat. That being said, Nux, what he basically said was that they got the IMS math wrong. All right. That's the short of it. I don't know what they're going to do about it. I have encouraged them to look at issuing a comp or issuing a completion or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do, but they certainly missed the mark. Okay. And my argument was, and see, here's why sometimes I have to give them a pass. All right. Because, and this is going to be a self-realization moment. When I can look into the mirror and actually realize that I wouldn't have thought of that, then I can't judge somebody else for not thinking of it. You know what I'm saying? For example, if my suggestion to them was this event shouldn't have run today, it should have run on day 10. Well, that was stupid. Why was that stupid, chat? Why should this event not have run today or on day 10 in its current form? Waiting for somebody to call me a dummy. Go ahead. That's right, Steven Zarin. It's because I'm stupid. All right? That's right, Caledon, because the refinery goes away. You're not going to be able to earn the directives because the refinery is going to go away. Even I missed it. All right? So, and here's the next problem. Here's the next problem. Lloyd points out in the chat, like, even if you were able to convince them to keep the refinery open, guess what? The hostels are going to disappear. Guys, what's the answer? What's the actual answer?
Just make it easier.
What is the actual answer?
Do it how they've done it already. Day 2 was good with the Armadas. It's fine.
No, it wasn't. Nobody's going to finish that IMS.
Very few.
Oh, you're talking about the IMS? Yeah, well, that comes down to how they're calculating it, really, more than anything else.
You're broken, Karkin.
Hi, Karkin. Take another puff. It'll get better. It'll get better. Nesbitt says some people have loads of loot. They want to be able to spend. I don't know exactly what the answer is here. I mean, honestly, and that's why I have to, be non-judgy and not, throwing rocks in a glass house. I didn't think of it. I told him just to keep the refinery open. Well, that's not going to work either. Luigi, you can't leave it as a permanent mechanic because the hostels are going to go away. And by the way, did we not already see players very frustrated on day 1 because the hostiles actually took over some systems where players already grind rep.
Like to grind?
Yeah. They took over systems where some players like to grind. I got plenty of messages. I mean,
Well, it's an invasion. What do you expect?
not hundreds, but I mean, I got plenty. Well, that's why you can't leave it as a permanent mechanic. That basically means you're taking that system away.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
really
yeah,
just
yeah,
give it a
yeah.
higher point scoring for the cutting the fucking cray.
Well, they could do that, but then that doesn't solve the problem of the directive sourcing. You know what I'm saying? And then I see, well, I have 100 million loot, leave it open, but you can still run the events and take the hostiles away. Well, doesn't that punish time then? Not that I would represent my specific position, but I haven't been able to grind. I've been working this entire time. I've literally, tonight when I get off, I will probably be able to go and actually hit Fatu Cray for probably the first time this month. All right. So in all fairness, I am not that player. I am sure I'm not alone. So if we left the refinery open, but the event only ran for like 72 hours twice a month, you realize how much of a gap that would provide. I would be 2 weeks behind you if the refinery stayed open, but the hostiles went away. I don't know that kind of gap is real good either. Now, again, I could just be, maybe that's a selfish position, but if I don't earn the loot, then I can't refine for the next 2 weeks while Silver Tab is refining the loot because they earned 100 million. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
Honestly.
getting enough to refine for 2 weeks.
No. I mean, well. And
I'm getting enough for one.
And
for a
granted,
day.
I haven't played. I know a lot of you guys said that. And Alicia says, sucks to be you. Yeah, well, no. I mean, Lost In, I'm not saying it's not a choice. I'm just saying you can't. That is a huge penalty, right? If it was a day or 2 or 3, I can do that. You're right, Silvertab. Not everyone can play all day, every day, or even every single day. Like, I know personally, I am looking forward to Saturday so much, you guys. Like, I've worked so hard at work this week, and then this, with content, and then doing the stuff that I've been doing with Scopely. There's been a lot of meetings this week. Arcfall weeks are not generally fun for me. They're not generally great. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So this Saturday, I'm actually looking forward to just like putting on a pair of basketball shorts, probably not even putting on a t-shirt. Like, you're welcome for the mental image. Like, probably just sitting on the couch with a bowl of Dino Nuggies and a 6-pack of Coke Zero. And I'm going to grind. Okay? I mean, that's what I'm going to, and I'm going to actually play for the first time all week. So if I was only behind these 3 or 4 days, right? If I was only behind these 3 or 4 days, then so be it. That's on me. But then if I am ready to start playing, but then I can't for another week and a half, I just wonder if that's not too big. And Andalicia says, I don't know, DJ, you might be making it personal. The game doesn't revolve around you. The same can be said for the rest of the entire game population. It happens, life interferes, and I agree. I'm not saying that from my position. I'm just saying, does the penalty need to be 2 full weeks? You see what I'm saying? Rand Susie says, what are you going to grind? They're going to be gone. Yeah, I'm going to have to catch up on other stuff. I'm going to catch up on other stuff. Guys, all right, people are going to make fun of me. Matters.
Yeah.
Hold
what's
up.
up?
I'm just gonna show you. This is embarrassing. All right, I'll put this in the graphics room for the podcast audience. Okay.
Yeah.
I've run out of something very, very important.
Patience.
Well, that too. Yes,
Uh-oh.
it's red data. It's red data, by the way. Yeah, that's exactly it, Putz. I have no D.
TJ. You got no D.
I'm all out. Tarpy says at least you can mine it. No, I can't. No, I can't mine it.
No,
I
he
have,
doesn't
I
have
have,
a Selkie.
I don't have a Selkie. I got to go grind it. All right, I'm probably still at least 2 weeks away from a Selkie.
Really?
Well, yeah.
What's taking you so long? It took me 24 hours.
Well, I'm waiting for an event, obviously.
Well, that's just well. Then you don't get to complain, sir. And I have this conversation
I
with
do
everybody.
have a protector. My
You
protector.
don't get to complain about being out of D.
One. It's tier 1. Oh my God!
Saying you have to wait for an event to build your Selkie. So fine, go 2 weeks without any D.
No.
Because you're waiting for an event.
I just said that I was going to grind it out. I can go grind hostels
On
and get D. I'm fine with that. Okay?
All right.
Swimbot says, all I heard was, that's actually funny. All I heard was, well, harder. Thank you. Jackass.
Not whale harder. It's not hard to get the Selkie. I didn't whale my way into a Selkie.
My point is, I do believe, Andalicia, that 14 days lost refinery is a heavy price to pay for somebody who couldn't grind during a 48-hour window.
That I agree with.
Okay. It's not not about me. I don't care. Clearly, I don't care. I don't even have liquid D.
It's not about any individual player.
No, it's not about me. I'm just saying I feel like
the IMS how it is.
If
and everybody can cry together.
If the refinery was open, like the liquid D refinery, if it was open constantly, like 24 hours, and the hostels didn't go anywhere, and it's just a matter of, okay, you know what? On Saturday, I am going to go grind. So Saturday, I can go grind the hostels, and I can even build up a week, 10 days, 14 days worth of loot, and then do it. That's different. The temporary nature of these hostiles is what actually makes it different. All right.
It's also a bit harder for you and me than it is for a lot of these players.
It is. All right. People keep telling me. People keep telling me
we don't get to grind for an hour. We go through many hulls because after 8 minutes we explode.
So Nux says, "Here's how I see it, DJs. Do not leave the refinery open. I like the temporary aspect of it. Okay. Up the chest amounts for scrap refine or increase the directives, and then increase the hostile scorings for the sub 60 so players under 60 can have a more meaningful impact in their leaderboards." Okay. I actually love both of those ideas. Up the chest amounts for scrap refine. So, in other words, allow us to refine more, right? You don't want to make it more expensive. You just want to have extra options. Like, give me a 10 chest option, right? Sure. I'm all for it. They still need to increase the. They still need to. Yeah, sure. Well, maybe. Sure, fine. Most of the other refineries do that. All right. The directives, I feel like, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. I haven't played as much. I've played with you guys the other night in the lab on Twitch. That is the most I've gotten to play. So you guys tell me. I do feel like the rewards of this loop, of this whole mechanic, this engine, I do feel like they're worth it. But there has to be access. So if the directives are only going to be around for 6 days a month, then how much sourcing actually exists for Gwen DeMarco? This is where I come back to communication. All right. This is where I come back to communication. And I was polite about this with Hammy, okay? Because what am I going to say? I feel like this month has been way off the mark with communication. There were too many snafus in the presentation of this content to me. Now, I am a graceful professional. I will say that I misinterpreted things. Okay? I'm not going to put the blame fully on them. I could have asked better questions. Okay? I could have asked better questions. But there was a lot. There's Omega 13. There's Gwen DeMarco. There's the event store. There's the Fatu Cray and the timing, the cadence, right? There's the Sarah skin. You know,
yeah, that was a big one for you.
That was a big one for me.
Yeah.
So I just feel like there is a lot of poor two-way communication this month matters. And it's disappointing to me because I really do feel like it's been going better. I feel like communication's been great. I feel like Hammy's been good. I feel like their conversations with me have been plentiful and productive and great. I mean, literally, I probably have, with any certain Scopely staffer, I probably have a minimum of 2 to 3 meetings a week with them. They welcome me to consult with them, and you guys can beat me up all you want and whatever. That's better for you than it wouldn't be if I wasn't involved. All right?
Oh, yeah.
It's better for you that I am involved at the level I am than if I wasn't. So I am going to be professional and polite in the way that I give my review, but I am very disappointed this month. No, it's not complacency, Cruzito. I don't think that's it at all. I think it's not complacency because Hammy's been on it. This, I think, was a failure to communicate with this specific pod who launched this specific arc. If I'm just being honest with you. And I'm not trying to point a finger. I'm just saying, man, the number of miscommunications that have occurred here and the number of failed explanations and the poor choice of words. Benny Hill. Is that
I mean,
what,
this does
are
happen, though, relatively often.
Benny Hill, is
things
that
are-
actually a thing, though? Every time I go to Los Angeles, you get a bad arc. Are you guys tracking it this way? I've been 3 times. Have there actually been 3 bad arcs every time I go to L.A.? Tell me it's not true. I like going to L.A. Benny Hill says yes. Lloyd says DJs must be in L.A. a lot. No, I've only been 3 times. Oh, my God, Tarpy, you're right. I was there the weekend Freeman came out. Oh, my God. I was there when Carol Freeman launched. That's right. I was sitting in Echo's living room that day. I was sitting in Echo's living room playing video games on Echo's couch when Carol Freeman went on sale. Because
Where were you during the Ferengi era?
Because I had so much fun taking the screenshots of envoys defeating Saladins with Carol Freeman. All right. Meridians were taking out Enterprises with Carol Freeman. All right. That's so funny. Are you guys are going to track? Real says, you were there for assaults, weren't you? I don't know if I was. I definitely remember being there for Carol Freeman, now that you guys remind me of it. I was sitting in Echo's living room. I remember that. What was the other one? When was the other time that I went to Los Angeles? Becca says the cruise. Did you guys have a bad arc on the cruise? Don't know because I didn't really play. That was no, that wasn't a bad arc. Oh my God, it was. That was Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's true. No. Oh, that's right. It was the NX-01. It was Enterprise. That's when I was on the cruise.
That was a bad arc? Was that a bad arc?
I thought it was terrible. I didn't like it. Oh, Tarpatude says you're not allowed to leave the cat cave.
Good ship, good loop.
No. It wasn't. It wasn't the NX-01. As a matter of fact, while I was there,
the cheese events that people.
Griffin
right? Was that it?
Griffin is going to have to remind me because he. You know, Spectre says, we'll do up a timeline and get back to you. Wait, what? Spectre, you're saying you're going to circle back to me? You're going to have to get back to me on that? Is that what you're saying?
Uh-oh. Echo 2.0.
You're going to have to get back to me, Spectre? Okay.
You are wrong. Just sit down and be wrong. You are wrong.
Tarpy says, this is why Strider and I are buying the drink package. Already did. Already did. Absolutely. Star Trek Cruise, drink package. It's a must-have. All right. Andy says they bring you there to butter you up so they can launch bad content. No, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it at all. Because they know I'm going to be objective about it. I'm not afraid to say when I'm happy or not happy. I even told him today, wait, was it today? I think it was yesterday. I was in a meeting Hey, Nux, thank you for your kitty bitties. Appreciate that very much. Luigi, thank you, by the way, for your resub. I missed that a little bit ago. Cruise for Chimera Armadas. Yes. I am personally running with 5 of 11, Khan, and Janeway. I have been told that there's some variation to that. Like, if you're going to run max fortification, you don't need Khan, so you can put something else there. Shiz says skip 5. What are you guys running in place of 5? I was just doing that for the loot. Because I can kill them. Picard, Beverly, Janeway, Andy. So has that proved out to be good? Because I know that Magoo suggested that the other day. He said that to me on day 1. He said, Picard, no, you can't use Picard, Beverly 5. That doesn't do anything.
It's high damage for the points.
Picard, Beverly, Janeway is what he told me. He told me to do Picard, Beverly, Janeway to increase the isolytic. And I thought that was an interesting concept because we are able to use the state officers below deck, which wasn't expected, right? So B'Elanna works below deck. Tom Paris works below deck. Depending on what you're doing, Harry Kim is an important one. So, yeah, those are good. I tried with 5 because I wanted to go with the mitigation aspect of it, but if I flip Paris around below deck and then go Pike, Moreau, or Picard, Beverly, to be perfectly, Picard, Beverly is probably better, right, than Pike, Moreau? Probably. Then Cruzito is running Harrison, which is actually brilliant. Depends on how much isolytic.
Does he actually work? Though?
Harrison? Yeah, Harrison works.
He's working on these?
I am almost sure Istio told me he was. Hold on, let's look at Harrison.
If Harrison works, then Chen should work, right?
Hold on, let's go and look at Harrison.
No, you don't look at it. So Harrison was one of those officers that works on everything, but was very specifically turned off against Armadas. Remember that old list of officers that don't work? That means Jauki should work.
He was
and that means PMC should work.
He was turned off against Armadas. All right, but this is a non-Armada hostile. He still works against hostiles, and I know.
And PvP. Same with Jauki. Same with Chen. Well, Chen doesn't work PvP, but Jauki was on that list. And Harrison and Yuki, do all these people work?
No. Istio proved that a bunch of them didn't work today. But, yeah, I know they're not Armadas, but they are. They kind of are. All right.
They're sort of Armadas.
Hey. He doesn't say. This follows the pattern of non. What was it, Omicron? Knowing? I told you, I wanted you guys to come up with a way to make it Elon. Okay? Either, or, and neither. That's only 4. Either, or, and neither. Guess what Harrison is? He is a neither. He is a neither.
All right, I'm going to go try.
Now we got to do. Papa Smurf says, what dates have you traveled to LA? I can compare to my chart. I honestly don't know. Coach says, can we make a list? We actually have been working on one over in the lab. Tarpy, this is beautiful. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to put this up on your screen. You guys gotta screenshot this. Yo, hey Tarpy, where's the Talking Trek logo on this? Because people are gonna share this. All right, you got to put credits down there. Graphic created by Tarpitude. And information. Oh, there it is up there at the top. Credit to Omicron, Spiv, and the STFC community. What? No. What am I, chop liver? What am I, chop liver? Don't worry about DJs. He don't need no credit. He's just an asshole. And by the way, I will point out, this is not an exhaustive list. These are some of the officers that you would naturally, obviously, kind of make sense in using against an Armada. All right? This is not an exhaustive list. These are just officers that obviously would make sense against these chimeras. Tarpy says, you never sent me the data. I'm not making any more graphics for you. All right, that's fair. I apologize. It does say, you know what? It does say draft at the top, so you still have time to edit it. Here, allow me to help. Hold on. I am going to help you, okay? And by the way, I'm going to put this in the graphics room here in just a second. I just gotta put my logo on it. So just hang out for a second if you don't care, folks. If you're listening live, or even if you're in the podcast audience and you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm just adding my branding to it, so it's fine. Yeah. Oh, that's very neat handwriting too. Yeah, that is what we call branding, folks. Okay? Don't get it twisted. We're professionals over here. Okay? Now, I'm going to put this into the graphics room so that everybody will get to enjoy this wonderful piece of research that has been sourced by the community. All right? Schweig says, that is a heck of a watermark. All right. Raj says, can you please not do that? Nope. I need everybody to know where the data came from. Okay, this is called branding. All right. It doesn't block any of the data. You can see all the check marks and all of the names. Okay, this is a perfect watermark. Anyway, here, this again, jokingly, this is a list of the officers that have been proven to work. These have been proven to work, with the exception of Gwen DeMarco, because nobody has her yet. Okay? Every single officer on this list has been proven to work. Lieutenant Fire is asking Tarpy for a copy before the graffiti was added. Now, Tarpitude says Harrison is not on the list. We're going to wait for Matters to confirm it. All right, the chat is circumventing my marketing.
Harrison does not work. I'll take the screenshot and I'll post it.
Poop.
Thank
Retrieving
you.
says,
because
why not?
They are armadas.
Okay, they're armadas. Retrieving says, why not NT data? Don't know, man.
Because he's hostile only, non-armada hostiles. So that's why he won't.
That's
work.
right. He's not neither, and he's not and. He's non-armada hostiles only.
That and or neither thing is getting very confusing because we're finding a lot of exceptions.
Are we?
Like Harrison.
Well, listen, obviously we're finding exceptions because that is not a scientific. We didn't.
Listen,
Scopely didn't write these armada capabilities and say, listen, if the tooltip says if the tooltip has the word and in it, we're not going to let it work. Okay, that's not how they wrote it. It's got nothing
to do with the tooltip. It's very simple. You take every single officer that works against armadas in the game, even if they work against something else. And then you remove all the officers that only work against armadas, and what you're left with works against chimeras. So far, that's been true all the time. Anything that works against armadas and anything else works against chimeras. Not just armadas, and not never armadas. As long as it works against armadas, as well as somewhere else in the game, it works against the chimeras. That's been everything so far that works.
I think I like the word "and"
Someone's
better.
got to make up an acronym.
If it's got the word "and," we're going to kick it out. Pixelate says that's ridiculous. I don't know, man. All I know is that we're working on putting together a crew. I went and tested Balana on the bridge the other day. I wasted 100 directives to test Balana on the bridge. Like, why? All right, why? But I did. We're working on it. Okay, there will be more information available as time goes on, but yeah, Harrison did not fire there. It doesn't look like.
Did not. No.
So yeah, we're working on it. It is we're working on it. We're going to try to get it to you guys as quickly as we can. Yeah, and really, honestly, don't get hung up on the tooltips because the words don't matter. Clearly, the words don't matter. We've struggled with words this month. Okay? We have struggled with words this month. By the way, you guys didn't like my idea about the Titan. I saw chat get very, very fussy when I suggested making the Omega 13 a Titan ability. Why? Why would you not want it to work broader than one ship?
Because they don't have the ship yet. These are people that don't have the ship who are at war or whatever with people who do. I'm guessing.
Andy, I suggested earlier that the Omega 13 device become like a time bomb for the entire system. Like everybody gets it. Now, by the way, what's the point, right? If everybody gets it, then everybody gets survivability. Yeah, but I mean, loot is kept. You'd have to double tap. There's a chance for evasion. Like, I think that would be super active and super interesting gameplay. You know? All right, and fine. Maybe it's not everybody because you don't want to give your opponent an advantage. So maybe it's you and your alliance. Maybe it's just your own ships. I mean, but more than one. You know what I'm saying? Andy, I think it would be fascinating in takeovers. All right? I mean, I think it would be hilariously fun in takeovers. Savage Darkness doesn't want it because it isn't Trek. Oh, my God. Fine.
If it was everyone, you could go into a system, put it up on everyone, kill absolutely everyone in the system who now has your buff, and say, oh, no, you're still fine. You're still alive. I didn't kill you.
Well, what if? Well, I don't know. I just kind of thought.
And what I was saying before I got cut off, sorry. Has anyone done the math on the actual, like, what's left? And what they would be required to do with the normal hostiles? I know for each server, but like for ours, let's say. How many of those Faku Cray hostiles how many people need to kill to finish our event?
Okay. The math,
without the chimeras.
The math,
cut those right out because they're limited.
The math, you can't do it based on the Fatu Cray. The chimeras were the metric. The math was based on 60% of the server completing their chimera solo milestone. 60% of the server is not going to finish their chimera solo milestone. It's not going to happen.
But there is a metric for the Faku Cray. So as a makeup, how many people have to grind to do that?
Millions, dude.
Let's say 100 people. I don't know about that.
Okay, tell us, Karkin. What's the math?
I don't know. I was asking someone to do it because I'm, high and lazy.
All right.
But I think last night when we were looking at it, someone's, unless they were wrong with their numbers, I didn't fact check or anything, but they were saying 40 people hitting their cap limit for the next 2 days would have had it.
40 people on a server
hitting the 2,000 cap for the next 2 days with the amount hitting 60s.
That also depends on what 60s. You can't assume that everybody's hitting the 60s.
I'm hitting 60s.
Now, Otter, 60% of people don't do events. No wonder there's still Ops 34. Listen, this was not entirely a free-to-play event. It could have been a free-to-play event, but it also could not have been free-to-play event, and that would have been based on RNG. So that is not, it's not exactly super appropriate. You know what I'm saying? RNG, if RNG is going to determine how many directives you got on an event that starts on day 2, you've only had one prior day with the refinery. What if you got 50 on day 1? And then
I've had the worst luck, 50 all 3 times.
You got 50 all 3 times, which means you could only run one. Yeah. You could only run one.
I got the compensation today. Luckily, thank goodness.
Well, I mean, I had kind of had to make a big case for that. And to be honest with you, I am very surprised that they only went with one, because last month when we were doing we had the exact same conversation with the Mirror Universe, and they gave 3,000 vouchers. That was 10 entries. They gave 10 entries based on, by the way, not only exploration and science and excitement and learning, not only that, but also because the events required participation faster than what the vouchers were going to be provided by the refinery. So I thought it would, okay, maybe it was 2 months ago. I thought it would be a no-brainer conversation. They literally just made the exact same decision with the Mirror Universe. And this time they did 100 directives. Hammy fought like heck for that. And I was like, why? Why did you have to fight for that? Why did you have to fight for 100 directives when we got 10 entries to the Mirror Universe just a month ago? You had to fight for 100 directives? Guess what? That might help somebody like Karkin today. What if Karkin had failed one of those?
Or just screwed up and started from too far away, and you couldn't reach the Armada in time.
Hey, shout out On Call Doc. All right, he's a big Uber whale, and even he got burned by the timer. Magu says, I needed to fight for the Mirror vouchers last month. They didn't just give them. I know, I get that, but I did the same thing this time, and I'm like, what? Why are we having to fight so hard for 100 directives? Like, I asked for 1,000. And
I do say that everyone should be at their Armada before they start it. That's just something you should have learned with solos, and the bad lag that everybody, random disconnects. Getting that third ship there, you make sure all your ships are underway before you start it.
Just as a quick point of reference, thank you, Matt Dog, for this math. We are 65% through our solo milestone, and if we were going to do it based on Fatu Cray hostels, using what level hostel is that as an average? He is calculating that our server, just our server, still has to kill 309,000 Fatu Cray.
Yeah, but which level? That would be 52
to 54.
And okay, now divide that by, let's say, 2,000, so you can get how many hostile limits, right? How many people would be needed to do that?
That's 1,500 people hitting their max, right?
All right, people, get to work.
Oh, Mad Dog says 123 people. So, okay, never mind. Whatever. I'm good.
Okay, so you only need 246 to get to 1,000. Double that again, they only have to get to 500. Come on, people. We can hit our line. We can do this. Go.
Karkin's drug-hazed math is hurting my head. What is he talking about? If you double this and then double it again and double it again, you've got 3.5 bananas. Okay, clearly it's going to be. and if you divide it by the number of dino nuggies on the highway, all right, then you take the multiplicative square root of yellow ink.
Come on, you're good with math.
And you're gonna hit the milestone.
Now you double the amount of people, and that means they have to hit that many less, right?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Speaking of bananas, everybody, I have something I want to share with you on podcast real quick. I actually played this on Twitch the other night, but I want to give it to you on podcast. I dropped in on a Beck Likes Plants stream the other day. Thank you, Beck, for the reminder. Beck says, I'm not here. Bye. As a matter of fact, Beck, are you on? I got a notification that you were going live. Did you go live? Beck is twitching. We might have to go say hi to her here in just a minute. But we'll rate out here in just a second. I dropped in on a stream the other day, and I got a great new sound alert. You guys want to hear it? You guys want to hear it as we get ready to end the podcast? I'm going to give it to you right here. Here you go. I got this from a Beck stream.
Bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. It's bananas.
I haven't turned it into a sound alert yet, but I'm going to. All right. Deathblade says, I forgot the giveaway. What giveaway? We didn't hit any goals. You guys were too enthralled with the interview that nobody wanted to save hamsters today. All right. We hit 0% of our dono goal. We hit 5% of our cheer goal and 8% of our sub goal. We were just so entertained. We were so entertained by that riveting interview today that nobody was able to contribute to the channel. That's also a Beck sound alert. I'm calling that one Beck is broken. All right, thank you. Hey, what's up, Basham? How you doing, man? Thank you. Thank you for the follow.
Bananas.
Yeah.
BANANAS. It's bananas.
There you go. All right, guys. I am going to do something amazing for you. Okay? We're getting ready to raid out to Beck. However, I promised a mechanical, quick, and dirty. So if you guys, I know they're both really loud. I had the volume up too high. Here you go. Mechanical, quick, and dirty. Yo! Thanks, Mad Hatter. Oh, no, that was Q. Thanks, Q. Appreciate you. Thank you, Q. That was the button I was trying to hit. All right. Here's what I'm going to offer the quickest, fastest. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, oh my God, we've listened to 2 hours and 54 minutes and all we got was this lousy 30-second quick and dirty. Here you go. Phase 1, Ops 25 plus. You kill the Fatu Cray. You earn the scraps. You go to and by the way, this is only when the event is active. You take the scraps to the event store and you exchange them in the Fatu Cray Scrap Exchange, where you will earn Syndicate XP, some various rare building materials, and some common and uncommon Borg credits, X-Borg credits. But most importantly, out of this refinery, you are going to earn blue particle accelerators, which, by the way, are very, very green. Okay? Blue particle accelerators are directives for the non-Armada armadas that are known as the Chimeras, which are a second piece, phase 2. We're going to talk about that in a second. Wood Cannon, thank you. The blue particle accelerators are the directives, okay? Now, you'll take the directives, you will spend them on Chimeras. Chimeras are 40 plus. 40 plus. Okay, hang on, Cabbage. I'm going to answer that for you. You're going to spend them on the Chimeras as the directives. They are 40 plus. When you either draw or defeat a Chimera Armada, non-Armada Armada, you are going to earn Ceres's Dominion Salvage. Now, this actually got me. Don't do what I did. I messed up. Okay? There are 2 refines in the event store. One called Ceres's Invasion Exchange, and then another one called Ceres Invasion Exchange Light. Please don't spend your loot in the light store. Wood Cannon says, already did it. Yeah, me too. I did it too. They got me. Please, for now, don't spend your loot in the Exchange Light, because in the Exchange Light, you're going to get a little bit of Syndicate XP, you're going to get some District 56 building materials, and some Galactic Recruit tokens, and some X-Borg credits. Okay, fine. Okay, that's fine. But the exact same currency is being exchanged at a higher price tag in Ceres's Invasion Exchange. Okay? Now, this is the more valuable chest. This is the more valuable chest. Ceres's Invasion Exchange, because it has the Gwen DeMarco shards. It also has the Chimera Blueprint vouchers, Galactic Acclaim, District 56, X-Borg credits, Galactic Recruit tokens, and Syndicate XP, and if you're G6, and Hazard Particles. Now, I want to point this out. You're getting the exact same rewards plus. Okay? District 56, X-Borg credits, Galactic Recruit, Syndicate XP in the light version. But if you go to the full version, you're getting all those same rewards plus Galactic Acclaim, Gwen DeMarco, and Chimera Blueprints. Okay? So you're getting extra rewards, but it does cost extra. Okay. If you go to the Exchange Lite, it's 19,000 loot for me at my ops. If I go to the full exchange, it's 38,000. It's exactly double the price. However, it comes with more. And that might be the value I'm looking for. That might be how I'm going to source Gwen DeMarco. That's what I want. Okay? I might be trying to chase Galactic Acclaim. That might be what I want. Your Armada loot comes here. Now, Armada loot is going to come in a couple of different forms. You are going to earn a participation chest if you at least last 10 rounds or kill it completely. Okay? And by the way, a lot of these things are chance. I'm not going to go into the mathematical specifics of it, but this is where you get what. Okay? Now, you oh God, just threw me off. Got it retrieving. Oh, loot. If you last at least 10 rounds or kill it, then you are going to earn Ceres's Dominion Salvage. That's the Armada loot. In a gift chest. It's called a Survivor's Chest. Okay? Then if you kill it, you're going to get a normal chest like you would kill any other hostile. It's going to be just a normal PvE chest. The Survivor's Chest is the big money. Don't be scared not to kill it, okay? Just make sure you at least draw with it. If you can kill it, great. But make sure you can at least draw with it because that's the chest you want. It's a big chest, okay? It's huge. For me, doing 2 chimeras last night gave me enough to pull the big reward chest. I did 2 chimeras, and I was able to pull the big one, the one that had Gwen DeMarco in it. Okay? The raw loot, not really worth it. Is it worth bringing a loot crew? I don't think so. Okay? The PvE chest for killing it, it's a nice little extra. It's a little bit of a cherry on top, but it's not the big bulk of loot. The big bulk of loot comes from at least drawing with it. If you die, you don't get anything.
1,500 from the loot, 15,000 from the chest for a 52.
There you go. 10x. Okay? 10x. The Survivor's Chest is key. Now, you're going to take that loot. You're going to come in here. You're going to get Gwen DeMarco. You're going to get all this other stuff with chances and various RNG odds and so forth and so on. Galactic Acclaim is a currency for new favors. Those new favors are in your faction store. FKR, G4, G5, G6. Okay? So basically, they are a favor for extra hull health on a specific ship. If you'll notice now, inside your faction store, go over to the right-hand side, for Klingon, Federation, and Romulan, you now have favors that you can drop down. You'll just notice that there's one for each ship. Okay? In the Federation tab, for example, you got the Kelvin, the Newton, the Enterprise A, the Northcutt, the Crozier, the Enterprise D, the Akira, the Titan, the Enterprise E. Those are each of the faction warships for each grade. Okay? They are 15 level favors. They start out pretty low, 250%, but they get pretty high. The Enterprise A, which is the G4 Epic, you could get up to a 2,000% hull health boost, which is kind of crazy. 5,000% for the G6 Epic. Those are pretty high numbers. But it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time to earn that much Galactic Acclaim. But that's how you do it, by defeating the Chimeras. Okay? In the event store, when the event store is active, you will also find Ceres's Invasion store. Now, this is different than the Ceres Invasion Exchange. All right, which is, I don't know, but it's different. The Ceres Invasion store gives you a chance to spend 2 currencies. The first currency are your Fatu Cray eye patches, which will exclusively come from events. Hammy told us tonight that the expected cadence is every 2 weeks or twice a month. All right? So twice a month, you're going to have a chance to earn Fatu Cray eye patches through both SMSs, IMSs, and leaderboards. Those Fatu Cray eye patches can be brought into the store to be redeemed for a bunch of stuff, including materials, faction credits, independent credits, mirror dust, ship parts, the protector blueprints. This is where you're going to be grinding the protector blueprints, hazard particles, more galactic acclaim, and potentially more Gwen DeMarco shards. Okay? That's with the eye patches. And finally, you have the Chimera blueprint vouchers, which are available for the ship, your faction ship appearance bundles in this store only. For me, it's the Enterprise D and a Dederadex. It's going to be whatever you are eligible for, your highest eligible ship with the highest reputation that you've got. Okay? So for me, I'm showing Enterprise D and Dederadex. I can actually go in and spend my Chimera blueprint vouchers on a Dederadex blueprint. They're literally equal 1-to-1. All right? And by the way, you're right, Paulo. Only 61 plus are going to see hazard particles, and that kind of makes sense. All right? Divine says twice a month like War Room and Incursions. Yep. You got it. Shiz says twice a month for just the 4 days. That is the current plan. You got it. Okay? So, yeah. So the Chimera blueprint vouchers, I mean, listen. For some people, it's going to be good for an extra couple of blueprints if you're working on a ship. It's certainly not high value. Okay? Certainly not high value, but it's a little something extra. Fine. The real value is in the eye patches. The real value is in the Armada loot. That is how you do it. Now, the second part of this loop, or the second loop, if you will, is an expansion to the Mirror Universe. Once you acquire the NSEA Protector, you get access to the second part of this loop, or the expansion to the Mirror Universe, and you do not get any part of it until you acquire the ship. Unless you have found a way to sneak in and cheese it a little bit, in which case you can. Because they did do one nice thing. The Protector Tier 1 refinery is available to all. I am very happy with that. The NSEA Protector Tier 1 refinery is available to everybody. Congratulations. I think that's a good thing. Oh, wait. Am I getting ready to get cracked? I'm trying to do a quick and dirty. Stop it. They gave everybody access to the Tier 1 refinery, which is very, very nice. In your refinery button, if you click on Mirror Universe and go all the way to the right, you're going to see the Liquid Omega Trellium store. This is actually super, super nice. And actually, I skipped ahead, so let's back up 10 seconds. When you take a look at the Mirror Universe, you're going to see new systems down there. They have level 10 hazards, which is 5,000% hazard damage. Pretty much any ship in the game is going to survive between 10 and 12 seconds, even for G6 players. 10 and 12 seconds. That's it. Except for the Protector. The Protector has immunity. So, obviously, it's designed that you are supposed to be flying the Protector in there. However, thanks to Lube and some other very creative, ingenious players, by the way, I tried. I couldn't do it. They were able to get a regular ship in there and be able to knock out one or two of those hostiles. If you're able to pull that off, all right, if you're able to pull that off, that's fantastic, because those hostiles are going to drop a new currency called Raw Omega Trellium. Wonder Yam says, I got to do it. I got 2 hostiles. Warbird says, how did you get 5? That's expert mode right there, buddy. Lube says he got 3. You guys told me he got 4. He told me he only got 3. All right, but daggone, that's nice, Warbird getting 5. Here's what they're going to do. They're going to drop Raw Omega Trellium. And by the way, they're going to drop really good quantities of it. Like, lots. As in, Lube got 3 hostiles and doesn't have to refine anything for like 38 days. That's how good it is. So nobody's complaining about this refinery, by the way. So you're going to go in, You're going to earn the liquid Omega Trillium. Then you're going to come back into your Mirror Universe refinery. You're going to refine the liquid Omega Trillium. You're going to get some new Omega Mirror Dust, and you're going to get actual liquid Omega Trillium. Then you're going to come down to your liquid Omega Trillium store, just like you've got your Trillium D store, and you've got a bunch of other stuff in here, including more Mirror Dust, beryllium spheres, which are the ship upgrade parts. You can earn primes in here. You can earn the new refit in here. It's actually a good refinery. I like it. It's cool. All right. Truthfully, the only thing that it pays, the only thing that it actually pays is new research material. So, if you don't play with the NSEA Protector, are you really missing out on anything? There are 6 grindable primes in here. So you can go get some grindable primes. That would be fine. You can get a free skin. That's fine. But this loop is a bonus loop. This is further, and I didn't get into this with Hammy, but this is further why I said G4 have the most to gain. G6 players probably have all these primes. A G6 player ain't going to grind out that skin. If he wants the skin, he's going to buy it. But G4 players probably don't have any of those primes, or maybe 1 or 2, maybe. G4 players are not usually the ones that spend carelessly on refits, so they're not going to have that. Whales are going to buy the research the material that they want to do. G4 players are more likely to grind it out. This protector ship is built more for G4 than anybody. I totally acknowledge that the ship costs $100, but I said the other day that this ship is probably one of the better $100 options for you guys that there has been in a very long time as far as a loop. It's very rewarding for G4 players. That being said, what else of value comes from the NSEA Protector? Well, not the refinery. Then the damage buffs. The NSA Protector will eventually be your primary ship that you fly in the Mirror Universe, even for normal Mirror Universe hostiles, because it's got such an insane damage boost on it, and it's got a mining boost on it. So sometimes, eventually, you're going to end up using the NSEA Protector to mine Trillium A or D. That's the benefit of the ship, is that it's meant to support the original Mirror Universe and then give you some extra rewards along the way. Riverwind says, does the NSEA really grow to 25 billion power? I have actually seen, I don't know if I've seen 25 billion. I have seen 2.5 billion. I have seen confirmed 2.5 billion. I have not seen 25. You might be missing a decimal point possibly in that, but I have not seen 25 billion. I've seen 2.5 billion. All right. Shiz says, what about mirror wave defense? Golly, I didn't even think about that, Shiz. Wow. If it's got a damage boost against...
It'll work there.
I'm sorry, what?
It'll work there.
Holy smokes. Can you imagine that damage
Of course,
boost?
they're mirror hostiles. Yeah.
Wait, so don't say that if you haven't tested it. Have you tested it?
No, I haven't tested it,
Okay.
but based on what it is, it works against mirror hostiles. Not just the new ones in the new systems. It works on the ones in the old systems. And those are straight-up clones of mirror hostiles.
Well, yeah, but wave defense is also code. We'll test it. I'll test it for you.
Well, I know, but the ship ability said that it like the radiation resistance. It says very specifically that it doesn't take damage from radiation, the radiation hazard in the mirror universe. So I immediately took it up to the chimeras and tested it. It gets the radiation resistance up there too. So eventually, when it's big enough, you can use it to hit chimeras, and it doesn't take the hazard damage.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah.
But
that's
I
true.
see no reason. I haven't tested it yet.
Okay. I'll test. I'll test. I think that's a great test. That's a great idea.
Don't test it today because it's not strong enough. It'll die.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to test it right this minute. I've got to get off the air. Too long on the air. But great idea, actually. Really, really good idea. So anyway, that is your quick and dirty on this loop, okay? That's what it's good for. That's how it's used. Crewing, unfortunately, we have gotten to a point where that is kind of your mileage may vary. It depends on where you're at and what you're hitting. Some people are running loot. Some people are running speed. Some people are running. I'm running Pike Moreau data still to go into the mirror universe because loot doesn't matter right now. So it depends on what you're doing. It depends on what your capability is. It depends on how easily you're hitting what your objective is. You know, if you're struggling, you're punching up. We can talk more about crewing in a future show, but there's a ton of variety on that right now. All right, and there's not a solid answer on that. Okay. That being said, I am being told that Beck is currently singing on her channel, which means matters it's time for us to bounce. We have to go. If she is singing, then I mean we're already missing the good stuff. So shall we go? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for being here. This was a great episode. I enjoyed having Hammy. Thank you guys for being here and being gracious to our guests. I really do appreciate all of you guys for being here. Please do visit our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. That is TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where you can find links to our YouTube. By the way, I have not gotten as many views as I would have expected on like the Los Angeles video and even my family vacation video. For all the people who gave me so much grief about recording everything and producing a video, nobody's watching it. So maybe you didn't know it was there. Maybe you should go over to our YouTube channel and you can check out mine and Oliver DJ's videos when we went on a trip to Hilton Head, and then we went on a trip to Los Angeles, and we went to the beach, the Pacific Ocean. It was a lot of fun. You guys get to hang out with me and my family a little bit. You can find those videos on our YouTube. Also on our website, brand new merch from Candy White. Be sure to check that out. And your chance to become a patron supporter of our channel for the low price of only $5 a month. Cheaper than any pack you can buy. You can be a valued member of our contributing body. And I thank you so very, very much. My name is Ultimate DJs. I am your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now, and thanking you for being such a wonderful, amazing part of the Talking Trek community. Talking Trek is a registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I am your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now. Loving me to catch you on the next one. Good night, everybody. Let's go say hi to Beck. Oh, this is going to be bad.